That's exactly.
I
That's
wanted
why
it
I
to be
don't
a
like it.
real documentary.
That's
well,
why I'm
watch
down on it.
Watch the Magic Johnson one on. I think it's on HBO.
Apple. I think it's on Apple
yeah,
TV.
Apple.
Yeah.
He has one that's more. It's true to what they went through, at least what he went through on that team. So that one's pretty good. So watch that one. Yeah.
I didn't have time to stop because I wanted to stop at Bojangles on the way and get some bow rounds and then drive by Arby's and have my window down. And then
With the bow rounds.
Just eating them right in front of Arby's. But I didn't have time to get the food, so I may be hangry. I've heard that there may be food at the station today. So
You did?
yeah, that's the rumor.
Is that a good? Is that you think that's possible?
Yeah, no,
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I
It's a
think
real
so.
thing?
I think my information
So
is correct.
you're gonna be that petty to ride by.
Oh, I was
Arby's
absolutely. I was going to slow roll it. Windows down, eating bow rounds right past Arby's. And then honking the horn.
What would have been even worse if you went through the drive-through, eating your bow rounds, and asked them, "Hey, y'all got any?
You still got potato cakes?
Potato cakes?
I'd like a large order of potato cakes. Oh, we don't have that anymore. What? Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I got bow rounds. See ya. Just take off.
Take off fast." Oh,
You know I would do that.
Yes.
I wanted to do it this morning. I really did. I was in the mood.
Oh, man. You're not going to let this potato cake go.
No. Stupid Arby's people.
Oh, man. I like
Decision
that, though,
makers.
man. I like it. You sticking to your guns, man. You sticking to them.
It's set them apart.
Yeah.
Something different.
Hey.
And then you went crinkle fries. It's like everybody. I mean, come on.
Everybody got crinkle
Everybody's
fries.
got crinkle fries.
I can buy crinkle fries at the
Jeez.
store.
I can't go to the store and buy potato cakes. Like those potato cakes. Come on.
I went and bought some crinkle fries from the store the other
Exactly.
day.
You got aisles of crinkle fries. So yesterday the Predators spoke. Good for Philip Forsberg actually talking after the season for locker cleanout day.
Yes.
That was better than somebody else who didn't
Yeah.
talk, and we talked about that for the entire offseason. But a lot of people came away going, okay, maybe I feel a little bit better. I don't know. I guess it depends on what side of the fence you're on. Anybody feel more optimistic after Philip Forsberg's words yesterday or feel the same?
I feel the same. I mean, what is he supposed to say? It's still, to me, 50-50 because I'm not going to even say they because it's not, it takes two to negotiate a contract. So I'm not just going to say they, meaning the Predators, allowed this thing to get this far.
When you
think
say it
both.
takes two, I just want
Yeah.
I want to start singing, you know?
It takes two, baby. No, but it takes two to negotiate a contract, and both parties have let it get this far. Let it get this far. So to me, it's 50-50, or 49-51. 51 meaning he stays, and 49 obviously meaning he's leaving. So that's where I'm at. Just think the night before, people were like, "Oh, he's gone. Oh, Philip is gone.
100%.
Oh, he's gone. Look at him. He's doing his final lap. Oh my goodness."
People were just sending me tweets like
Exactly.
George Plaster. You can look at okay,
He's gone.
100%.
He's gone. It's just like Willie was in a
Feels
press
gone.
box. Did you see him? He rounded the
Oh
ring.
my gosh! Oh my laundry! He's coming back! Chris, he's coming back!
So I'm 49.
Philip Forsberg is on the ice, waving to the fans, saying he is coming back.
So I'm 49-51. So there you go. Where you at, Willie?
I've been a lot higher than 50 all along, so I didn't change a
Coming
whole lot.
back?
Coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I continue to fall back on the conversations we've had all year with David Poyle, putting it alongside Philip Forsberg, and I really believe both sides want to make a deal. So I think when that happens, it's way more than 50-50. It doesn't mean that it's a done deal because it's not done until it's done. But that coupled with the advantages the Predators have with the 8th year, the math works so many different ways here. Unless he really wants to leave, I think it will get done. But they've got progress made. I thought the interesting thing was not just that he said, the goal is to stay here, but he did sort of reveal that they made some progress.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really did make a run on it before the trading deadline happened. And he said they made progress. They're not there yet. But that I thought was significant. I don't know about you guys.
Progress is
well
pretty generic.
That can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
It could mean nothing.
It could mean nothing. You're right. But I interpret that as we've broken this down as much as we've broken down any contract. We've done our share over the years. But what are the aspects? There's the term, which we all feel like is 8 years. The money, which I think is still the sticking point. I didn't for a while, but now I believe that that's it. And then there's the no trade aspect of this. So whatever the progress is, I think it's somewhere in those three categories, they made some headway, but it's not done until it's done.
Okay, here's a question for both of y'all in regards to that. Would you offer him a no trade?
You talking about for the length of the contract?
Yeah, for the length of the contract.
No.
I don't know.
You talking about for the duration or modified?
I mean, just
You
give him.
You think
just
Poyle's
give him
none,
some.
and Forsberg's like all of it, and they're not even.
Okay, if Poyle's saying none, Phillips saying all, the middle would be 4 years.
Okay.
Would you give him a 4-year no trade clause?
At his age, I'd give him 4 years.
Okay.
So let's again talk about what we think the parameters are. We know that within the team, Roman Josi makes 9.059. He's got the no trade, right?
And that's the only. It's like Pekka. David's going to give it out once.
Matt Duchene makes 8.
But he's got modified.
Has a modified no trade. So that there's a precedent somewhere. Philip Forsberg is somewhere between these two guys.
Yep.
So there should be somewhere in there is the middle ground that they should agree on.
I'd go down the middle. I wouldn't go anymore.
Okay. I mean, there has to be some type of compromise, whether it's 4 years or 4 years, and you get to pick the team you want to go to. We give you a list of teams, and you get to pick the team you want to go to after the 4 years.
Just make sure you do your homework if that happens.
Exactly.
Don't be caught like Vegas and trading somebody you can't trade.
Yeah, you got a point there, too.
The other thing is, too, you got to be smart when you write down these. Like, I swear sometimes players gain this right, and then when they really sit down and write down the teams that they don't want to go to, they don't think it through very well. Oh, I don't want to go here, 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 here. Mm-hmm. And then a few years later, you're like, why did I put that team on my list?
That team,
why did I
the
put
team
that
you want to go
team
to
on there? That wouldn't be that'd be a great team to go to. Like sometimes, like there was a time a few years ago that Colorado was terrible. Mm-hmm. You might put Colorado on the list of who you don't want to go to for whatever because you don't think you can win there. Mm-hmm. Now, it'd be totally different.
Yeah,
like if you sign this contract,
you have no
4 or 5
idea.
years, everything changes a lot in 5 years or 3 years, 4. I mean, sometimes 2 years.
Yeah, a lot. It's very hard to look down the road and say 4 years from now this team will be X. How in the world could you say it?
Right.
4 years ago, what did the Winnipeg Jets look like?
They were on the verge of maybe the best.
They could
as good as anybody.
Viewed as the best team in the league
Yeah.
or second best team in the league. Viewed as a team that can get to the Stanley Cup final. Viewed as a team that can win it all. Today, how do they look? They still look the same?
No.
Okay. That's 4 years right there.
So what are you saying? The player needs to do his homework?
You can't. I'm saying you can't. Homework, you can't.
Yeah.
How do you know what somebody's going to look like in 4 years?
Well,
how do you know what anything life? Like forget sports. How do you know what anything's going to look like in 4 years?
But there's just some places that a player just don't want to go to. Like for instance, in football, you're looking like, listen, I don't want to go to the Jets. organization, no. I don't care how much winning they're doing. No, I do not want to go there.
You can eliminate teams, and you could probably put teams in there that you know what they're going to look like. But here's the deal. Do you know who's been in the playoffs the most consecutive years in the NHL right now?
Pittsburgh
Penguins, 16 years in a row. What are they going to look like in 4 years?
You don't know.
Well, what do you think they're going to look like in 4 years?
They're going to continue to be good.
You think?
I mean, if they've been in the playoffs 16 straight years, the trend tells me,
What, with
they're going to be
Crosby
good.
and Malkin, you think 4 years from now, you still think they'll be at this level?
Maybe not in this level.
that's the
Yes.
Those guys may be out of the game.
Yes. But you figure if this organization, that
You think
organization.
Pittsburgh's going to look the same after post Crosby and Malkin?
Well,
I don't think so.
They better set that team up they better do some really good
They can't-
evaluation.
Right, because they're not going to get high draft picks.
Exactly.
See, isn't that the great story though? Because you would think, hey, what a model franchise.
Exactly.
They've got everything
That's like
going.
Pittsburgh
They've
Steelers.
won cups. But if you go a little bit before Crosby and Malkin and the guys that have made the great, they were bankrupt. They were almost about to move from Pittsburgh and go to Canada. They were the Predator. That was the same guy that tried to get the Predators a few years later. He almost had the Penguins. They were a mess. So things do run in cycles. You can look like you have no idea what you're doing. Remember the Maple Leafs? They were bungling. They were tanking. They couldn't get anything right. And so they tanked. Like they stripped it all the way down, and now they've got this real powerhouse lineup that's looking for playoff success. They're one game away from eliminating the champions here. They got a great win last night, but a few years ago they looked like a total mess.
When we come back, I want some input from the listeners. You can call in or text in. We had Adam Vingan on yesterday. We talked extensively about what he put out there. Predators ownership can no longer stay silent about direction of franchise. The question is, you as a fan, whether you're a paying customer or not, maybe you just root from home. I don't know. You root from afar. You don't have to be in a certain category, day one, season ticket holder, or just had one in the last 3 years. Doesn't matter. If you follow the Predators and you're a fan, is this important to you? I'm curious. I want to know, we want to know, do the fans care if they're hearing from the ownership group or someone representing the ownership group? Let's do that on the other side. 615-737-1025. We'll do that next here on the DDC, ESPN 1025 The Game.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, May 11th, we're doing something special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is unprecedented and worth $650. Call today, Wednesday, and qualify free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. You can run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. The Kubota B-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Attention, buckaroos. It's time for the Franklin Rodeo, so saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede from May 19th to May 21st. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Franklin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Williamson Medical Center, Wesley Mortgage, and Event 1FX. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Back here on the DDC, our show is presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com. You're going to need it. It's going to be hot today. Hot and sticky today, tomorrow, this week. It's going to feel like summer.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be awesome.
That's what I'm talking about.
We want to know from you. 615-737-1025. We had Adam Vingan on yesterday from The Athletic. He wrote an article that he, I think, published 60 seconds after the Predators were eliminated, and it was posted. Predators ownership can no longer stay silent about the direction of the franchise. And the simple question is, Preds fans, do you care about that? Is that a big deal to you? And why? Would love to get some feedback on that. Fat Hog down in Murfreesboro on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, hey, guys, I need to let you guys know that there is a group called PCA. It's called Potato Cakes Anonymous. I'm ashamed to say I'm a member, but I am proud of my potatoes. So maybe someone on that show might want to think about checking in. I don't know what he's talking about.
Doesn't sound anonymous anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
does that person hail from Idaho?
I think I know who he's talking about, but
Who's? I don't even know who he's talking about.
Who? The owl over there?
Who?
Potato
Who?
Cake. You need to go to Potato Cake Anonymous, man.
How many bites does it take to eat a potato cake?
You just need to
one.
You need to get past the potato cakes, man. That's what he's saying. You got to get over it.
Wait, apparently he hasn't.
Yeah.
I think he wants some company.
Yeah.
In the PCA group.
Hey, I guess he'd say more to marry.
The first thing is you have to identify that you have a problem, and I don't have a problem, so I don't know what Fat Hog is talking about.
Well, you'll never go there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem, so you have to identify that you have a problem.
You don't have a problem, but you want to drive up next to Arby's and eat your bow, what are they called?
Bow rounds.
Yeah, bow rounds in front of their building.
And just honk the horn. Like,
That's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah, not a problem. I think that's pretty normal, isn't it? No? Let's go to Rebecca. You're up first on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Do you care?
Well,
I do care that we don't have potato cakes anymore, so I'll throw that out there.
Thank you, Rebecca.
But, yes, I think that I respect that ownership does not, that they take a hands-off approach. But I just think we're hitting this cusp of almost an eye roll with the same sound bites from David Poyle and John Hines, where we need just some fresh voices to kind of make us feel better about things. And that's where I am.
So what are the sayings that you have the eye roll for?
I think it's all these just trades that I think have been really weak.
Such as?
Cody Glass. I think that was not great. I'm not sure Luzon was, I guess that's fine, but a second round draft pick's pretty significant to give up for him. But they spin it like it's going to be the saving grace for the Preds, and maybe that's just what they need to not spin it. It'd just be like, we think he'll contribute and move forward versus, all these attributes that they say are going to really help the team, and something's not working for the team. I think you can tell that with the players. They seem frustrated.
Well,
and I hate it for them.
I'll say this, Rebecca. Look, I understand your questions, but you have to understand also, if you're going to talk to ownership, like asking those like personnel questions, I don't really know, other than Jerry Jones, who plays GM, in the NFL, I don't know very many ownership that they're just going to refer to the people they pay to do that job. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, I'm not saying your answer, but like more specific things to like address with ownership. If you ask like, why did you trade for Jeremy Lauzon? Like a member of the ownership group is not going to get detailed on that.
That's not what I'm not saying we ask that. I just think they need to, hearing their voice about what their expectations are for the Predators.
Okay.
I just think that would be reassuring.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because we know David Poyle is, we knew this was a rebuilding year. We finished better than we were anticipated to, which was like, I think a spot or two better.
A spot or two better? Wait a minute. Where do you get a spot or two better?
There was somewhere where it said they listened to this on a podcast where we were projected to come in like 20th, and we came in at like 16th.
Well, it's 20th to 24th. I mean, I looked at all of them. The bottom line is nobody thought this team was going to make the playoffs, and they did.
And then you rewind to when we got John Hines, and it was like, okay, we're in the spot for him to really shine with who we have, and it's just a big mush. It just all has changed, and that the chances of having a winning team are very slim when you have 32 teams. But I just think that we need some new voices.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you for the call.
Here's what I don't quite understand, because fans are calling and listen, you get to a point, I guess, as a fan, and you in your mind is like, I just need to hear something different. I need to hear something different. And it's not necessarily you want to hear something different. You want to hear a different person say the same thing, meaning this. If what Paul's been saying for, say, like the last year and a half, 2 years, don't you think management is thinking the same thing, and then he's just relaying what management is thinking to the public? Because he's not going to say something contrary to what management is thinking, because they will be on his ass. Like, listen, well, we didn't say that. That's not where we want this franchise to go. You can't say that. If they're saying something, they're relaying it to Poyle, Poyle's relaying it to Himes, and then it gets to the media, or they're relaying it to Poyle, Poyle's then talking to the media. I think the fans want to hear someone else say it, not the message. Fans, the message will be the same. Believe me, it will be the same, but it will come from someone else.
Okay, anybody who's a parent,
Exactly.
in this room or out there listening right now. You've been through this. I promise you.
Oh, I've been through it, yes.
You say something to your kid, the message many, many times, and they don't listen to a damn word you're saying. And a friend of yours, a coach, a neighbor, coworker, uncle says the same exact thing to them.
And they listen.
And they do it.
Yeah, okay.
And they do it. And you look at them like, are you kidding me?
Like I said that to you 3 weeks ago.
How many times have I told you this? Really? And now all of a sudden you're listening? It's the same message. It's to your point. It's coming from somewhere else.
Exactly. And I mean, that's just how we, that's just how we are wired sometimes. It's like, I'm tired of hearing from that person.
That's fair.
Give me someone else.
I get that.
And I understand it. I do understand it.
But I think what you're saying is true, though. I don't think you're going to get much of a different message at all. But I think to the fairness of Rebecca and other fans that feel that way, yeah, I could see where sometimes you just want to hear somebody else say it.
Exactly.
And maybe they'll say something a little bit different. That's fair. Matt down in Pensacola, Florida. You're up next here on the DDC. What's up?
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good.
Hey, so I will side with Rebecca and honestly with Adam Vingan about needing to hear something new. We've had one guy at the helm for almost 25 years now, and despite all the accolades that he deserves, and he deserves a lot of them for keeping hockey in Nashville, for making the team successful, it's a results-driven business. And year after year, we find ourselves in this position for whatever reason, with a first-round exit for the last 4 years with the team for differing reasons. But maybe it's my kind of gravitational lensing of it, being in the military, but you don't get to have your upper leadership leave someone in a position with a constantly rotating number of coaches, with a constantly rotating cast of players, and year after year hear the same excuses. Oh, we're right here, we're right there, we've got this hole to plug, we've got that hole to plug. It's to me, as a fan, it's completely falling on deaf ears now. And I am not a fan of David Poile anymore. I do not believe as a fan that we will see the Nashville Predators win the Stanley Cup with him as the general manager. I think that 40 years at the job and not being able to get it done for whatever reason, it's a results-driven business. He's not been able to get it done. And I think that it's time for something new. And at this point, ownership owes it to the fans who are taking this game seriously to give us something, like show us a plan. And I think they were talking about it on Robby and Rexrode. What is the plan for this franchise going forward?
You don't know what the plan is going forward? You have not heard them say repeatedly competitive transition? Have you heard that?
I mean, yes. I mean,
okay, that's a
we
plan.
Heard that in the beginning.
Have they been consistent with that messaging for the entire year? From last offseason, from the season before that? They didn't call it as such 2 years ago. But for 2 years, they have talked about exactly what the plan is, competitive transition. I understand if you think that change for the sake of change is warranted, I'll buy that strategy. I don't agree with it, but I can see that line of thinking. But don't tell me they don't have a plan. That is absolutely wrong. The competitive transition, I can go through all of the things. The previous caller, Rebecca, brought up a couple of trades. They traded some older players, Ryan Ellis, Victor Arvidsson, who had big long-term contracts, for younger players. They went from one of the oldest teams in the league to one of the youngest teams in the league. That's competitive transition. They let the younger players play in the key games down the stretch. They didn't trade for veterans at the deadline. They didn't spend to the cap. You know why? Because they stuck with the plan. So I just don't buy that they don't have a plan. Okay, if you want to change different voices, okay, that's a fair argument. But you can't tell me they don't have a plan. Fair?
I think that's fair, but I still hold to the idea that, things are, from a fan's perspective, they're getting worse. I mean, they didn't win a single game. They were never in this series.
When you lose your goalie, do you think that made a difference?
I think it did.
The Vezina Trophy winning goal, or Vezina Trophy nominated goalie, that didn't make a difference in that playoff series?
I hear you, Willie. I do. But why was David Rittich here? Why was Jeremy Lazan brought in? Why have these trades that David Poile has been consistently making not panned out? And it's just felt year after year like the man is plugging holes where he can because, I mean, let's face it, David Poile has more years as a general manager in his rear view than he does in the future. And it just, as a fan, it feels like year after year the future of the franchise is sacrificed so that he can hopefully one day win a Stanley Cup. And that's the ultimate goal. But if you don't have a 5-year plan to address these nagging issues that year after year they have, it doesn't feel like anything's ever going to change with him at the helm.
Matt, thank you so much for listening down in Pensacola. Can you send us some – oh, you hung up on him. It was going to tell him to send us some McGuire's. Can you send some McGuire's to 1824 Murfreesboro Road down in Pensacola? It's a great place. Great Irish restaurant. All right, we'll come back. Jeff, Josh, others want to weigh in. Do you want to hear from ownership of the Predators? We're asking you. 615-737-1025. More DDC next.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Matich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The city famous for its music is about to be overwhelmed by the Symphony of Speed. June 24th through 26th, Nashville Super Speedway will host an exciting weekend of NASCAR racing and entertainment featuring the Ally 400 Cup Series race, the Tennessee Lottery 250, and the Rackley Roofing 200. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com or call 866-RACE-TIX and brace yourself for some full-throttle fun.
Empire Auto Parts has opened a brand new location in Nashville, Tennessee. They're hosting a hiring event with giveaways, sign-on bonuses, and more happening at Holiday Inn Express at the Crossings, 201 Crossings Place, May 16th through 20th from 9 a.m. to noon or 2 to 5. Empire Auto Parts offers hourly pay, full benefits, 401k matching, and more. Current job openings for warehouse associate, delivery drivers, customer service agents, account managers, and dispatchers. Apply now on Indeed at Empire Auto Parts Inc. Jobs or visit their website at EmpireAutoParts.com.
Summer heat is on the way. Is your air conditioner ready? Costs are rising everywhere. Groceries, gas, utilities, you name it. Is your AC old, inefficient, and costing more than it should? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months no interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Fenton, and I want to tell you about my friends over at 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza is my favorite place in town. It's family-owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style, always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesday and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 or head to 312pizzaco.com to order 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy customer.
Atris Software Accounting is amazing. I was able to see where's all my expenses going, where's the revenue, which month had more revenue. I definitely recommend it to you guys who are a small business and need to record your expenses. And they just make it so easy. I was like, wow. Affordable and easy to use. I have recommended it to colleagues.
Easy to learn, easy to use. Small business software tailored just for you.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. That's patriotsoftware.com.
with PatriotSoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic All-American Sports Bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
The sounds.
Play ball. Line to left. Coming on Newstrom. Base hit. Sounds win.
The Nashville Sounds continue on the road against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 10:50 a.m. on your home for Sounds Baseball.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt football head coach Clark Lee. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Sometime before we get out of here today, we're going to give away Sting tickets. Ascend Amphitheater. It's coming up May 18th, a week from today. Sting at Ascend. Jeff, you're up next. Welcome into the DDC.
Hey, guys. How are we doing today?
Great.
Hey, so listen, I want to touch on a couple things. As far as the plan goes, you know, it's year to year, and that's all it is with Poyle. Poyle's attempt is to get into the playoffs each year, and I don't know if he's hoping for 2017 every year, but it's not a long-term plan. I mean, it's just not. You can say, okay, great, he played the young guys. What other choice did he have? This team had no chance at a Stanley Cup. There's nothing he could acquire at the deadline that would make them competitive this year with the McKinnons, with the Crosbys, with the Kucherovs, those teams. It's not realistic, and you hope the man has enough sense to realize that. Now, as far as the bad trades go, I mean, you can go back to a first for Hartman, Vern Fiddler back. The Lausanne trade was bad. Fiala's lighting it up in Minnesota. And fine, you want to say that, oh, well, he was going for it? He still has to take responsibility for the fact that he swung and missed. Now, Granlund's a fine player, but Fiala's in Minnesota absolutely tearing it up. He's a goal scorer. We don't have goal scorers. That brings me to another point.
They had 240 goal scorers.
Yeah, that's great.
We don't have goal scorers.
Right. And where are we? You need secondary scoring. If you think 240 goal scorers who have career years, and if you think Phil's going to repeat that, when Phil has routinely missed 15 games a year, he scores 40 in a contract year. Now all of a sudden Phil deserves a $9+ million contract. You're out of your mind. He's already overpaid for Joey. The tail end of Yossi's career is going to be overpaid because Yossi's not going to be worth that $9 million at the end when he's 37 and 39. You have Duchesne locked in. That deal is going to be kind of questionable. So you want to lock another player in long term for $9+ million a year, and I've heard he's asking upward of 10 and a no movement clause. It's absolutely asinine. He should have been traded.
Where are you hearing he's asking for $10 million a year?
Again, just internet rumors. So he's asking,
internet rumors. Okay.
So he's certainly asking for 9. You think he's asking for what Duchesne got?
Duchesne has 8.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's asking for more.
He absolutely should ask for more than Duchesne, don't you think?
No, I don't.
No?
I think the guy has been he's perpetually injured. He misses games, and he's inconsistent except for this year, which is a contract year, which you expect to see a bump in production. It's absolutely fool's gold. When was the last time Phil played 70 games, 80 games?
Jeff, it's a wonder that they've ever made the playoffs based on what you're saying, right? It sounds like you're describing a really bad team. Are you not?
They are perpetually mediocre. Perpetually
mediocre. Making the playoffs 8 straight years is mediocre.
Yes, that's mediocre because they finished out of the first round, which is what, 16th? 16 out of 32 is what? Right in the middle. That's mediocre. If I'm
this year, they were 16th with the third youngest team in the playoffs. The one team that didn't spend it because they're in a competitive transition, which they told you from the start.
Touch on that too. Let's touch on that too. They got rid of Pekka Rinne, who was 37, Richardson, who was 42, Eric Haula. It's not like you're replacing your core people with young stars. We don't have a single young star. We don't have anybody who's going to be necessarily an all-star on this roster, let alone a McKinnon or, obviously a McDavid's a once-in-a-generation, or even a Mitch Marner. We don't have that because he can't draft scoring. We passed
Right,
on
because they don't pick first, because they win, and they go to the playoffs.
I'm sorry?
Because they don't pick first. They don't get Mitch
Hold
Barner.
on. All right, so hold on. So we picked Askarov, right? You know what we passed on? Dawson Mercer. Seth Jarvis, who was lighting it up in the playoffs this year. Anton Lundell. We picked Svechkov and Laharo over Fabian Lysell, who was absolutely killing it in the minors. We don't pick scores. We passed over him. Now, if you can justify and say, Saros wasn't Saros, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is you passed on 3 legitimate scores for a goalie in the first round.
Right, and did you call the show after the draft and say, they should have picked these guys? You don't know who those guys are when they're 18, do you? I mean, it's easy in hindsight to go back and say this guy or that guy. You don't even know if Askarov is going to be good or not. He might be really good.
My point is that that position it's our least position of need, and fine. Hindsight is 20/20. It's not my job to determine that. That's why Poyle's a 40-year, 10-year GM. That's his job to do that, not mine. A fan who pays $2,500 for season tickets. That's not my job. That's Poyle's job. Now, you can't say, we can't know. Yes, that's his job to know. He's never gotten a second-round steal offensive player like a Robertson, like a DeBrincat. He's never gotten that. He picks Dante Fabro in the first round who, fine. Tomasino's going to be a nice player. Poyle can't draft offensive talent, and you can't argue with that. I mean, there's no argument against the fact that he has not picked and developed a single offensive player who's put up 30 goals.
Yep, they've done that. Victor Arvidsson. He didn't draft Philip Forsberg. Victor Arvidsson.
That's fine. Arvidsson had 1 year, and then as far as the trade for Ellis, he was lucky to get out of a bad move, and that's what it was. 2 guys who were small, who took a beating throughout their career. He signed them to long-term contracts, and he had to eat it. And that's what it is. I don't give him credit for that. He got himself into that mess.
Okay. Jeff, hey, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for the input. I want to say this real quick because I know we've covered this before, but, sometimes you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There are factors on why things happen. And everybody that saw Kevin Fiala get red hot, which, by the way, we saw Kevin Fiala get red hot here many, many times over the years, okay, and have a really nice season, okay? He had a career season in Minnesota. This was year? That's 3 full years, so he got traded, so 3.5 years in Minnesota. What you don't realize is this is coming from me, who was a big fan of Kevin Fiala. I used to talk to him a lot in the room, off to the side, just chat. I enjoyed Kevin Fiala, and I know he rubbed some people the wrong way. He certainly was not lacking confidence, but I liked him a lot. I really did. But Kevin Fiala was also immature. He just was. Okay, and at the time when they made the trade, they were looking for a more mature player because they were in their window of they felt like they were really, really good. Really good. And sometimes it's not always about things on the ice. He needed to grow up. And I don't know what Kevin's been gone now 3.5 years. I don't know if he's grown up. I really liked him. I was a fan of him. Like I said, I used to talk to him, pretty regularly. Off the side, just hockey, not hockey, just chat with him. But he also was very, very immature. And the reason, there were things going on behind the scenes. It's not always about on-ice stuff. Sometimes things get – you think A.J. Brown got traded because his stats weren't good enough? You think that's why John Robinson pulled the trigger on that? No. It was money, but there was probably – some of the stuff he started doing – by the way, A.J. Brown, again, yesterday tweeted and deleted it. It's like, dude, figure it out, A.J. Honestly, we don't have time to go into that. We can go into that a little bit later. But sometimes it's just about things other than on ice. At the time – they did it. They needed him to grow up much faster, and he was not growing up at the pace they needed him to grow up. And Granlund was the more experienced and veteran and professional guy at the time. That's why the trade happened. We'll come back. More phone calls. Josh, I promise you'll be first up. Scott, Christopher, we'll try to get everybody in here as we wrap up hour number 1 of the DDC next.
For the
first time in their history the Predators have been swept in a playoff series.
The Predators season has come to an end after being swept by Colorado in the first round.
You work 82 games to be able to get in the playoffs, and, unfortunately this series didn't go the way that, we wanted it to go.
What steps do they need to take in the offseason?
Offensively, you got to find a second line. You have a line that you can put together.
We'll continue the coverage on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. Z Series mowers and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota L2501 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $1,100 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
2 locations to serve you, Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota. Visit them online at ColumbiaKubota.com or FranklinKubota.com.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
Okay, let's start unloading the sod over here.
The grass is always greener when Haruka's Lawn Care does the mowing.
And then we want to get the flower bed started before lunch.
They need a new landscaping designer to keep their budding business growing.
Oh, can we double check the incline here? This one needs to drain this way.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because our Sleep Number 360 smart bed is really smart. It senses your movement and automatically adjusts to help keep you both comfortable. Plus, it's temperature balancing so you stay cool. It's even smart enough to know exactly how long, how well, and when you slept, and to help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. And now, during our Memorial Day sale, save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen, now only $19.99, only for limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Call me. That's what we're asking you to do. Call us. 615-737-1025. Our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's see. Josh has been waiting patiently in Ashland City. Josh, you're up next.
Hey, how you guys doing? So I just want to start out by saying, I don't need to hear anything from ownership. Actions speak louder than words. So with that being said, if we do hear from ownership, it's going to be to say that they're firing David Boyle and they're hiring Jeff, the last caller, because he's being But no, I believe the competitive transition, the rebuild process. It's maybe Boyle has he's shown his ups and he's shown his downs, and sometimes it's like with any GM, kind of take a swing at somebody or take a shot on one particular player, and it don't really work out. Like John Robinson's had those same mistakes, and you sometimes draft somebody that don't work out. Sometimes you gotta make that boo boo. You got to work it out. I say transition, rebuild, transition, competitive transition, whatever they call it now. It could take more than 1 year. I believe that the Predators had a pretty distinctive season to go from one of the oldest teams in the National Hockey League to going to one of the youngest teams in the National Hockey League. They just happened to get hit with the injury bug at the end, and Saros kind of went down, and a few things didn't fall into place. And, I believe that give it a year. This is just my opinion here, but give it a year or so. See what David can shake out. See if he can make some things kind of lighten up and make a stand and try to go for it, and if not, then maybe it's time to start putting more action into the chemistry of the pot, because you gotta start with the man on the top. If it's not going to work out after be 25 years next year, I believe, something like that. If it's not going to work out then, it's probably going to end up being where chain of command, Boyle has to go, Hines has to go, and then you just start the whole complete rebuild process, because at that point, maybe what you're looking at, man, I mean, it's just coming from somebody that kind of watches it on TV. It may attend 5 games a year, but I believe that all things happen for a reason, but actions speak louder than words. And y'all guys have a great day.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the phone call and your input.
Here's the deal, and whether they choose to move on from David Poyle, and we're not advocating either way as a show. We're not advocating them firing, keeping. It's the Predators management is going to do what's best for the Predators, whether that's keeping Poyle on or not. But you don't want to look up as an organization and, say if you just continue to win at the clip you've been winning, barely making it into the playoffs, you're not a bad team, but you're not one of the top echelon teams. You don't want to let this continue for another 2-3 years and look around and all of a sudden your fan base is slowly leaving. It's slowly eroding because they're like, listen, yes, I understand we're not bad, but we're not
been there, done it.
Not one of the top. Exactly.
Been there, done it, yeah.
We've done this for the longest. Something needs to change. And again, as owners, you don't want to look around when you go to a game, as one of the owners do, and you start to see like, wow, okay, people are not coming at the clip they used to come. It's hard to get those people back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me just play the other side of the coin, because I think there's a lot of logic behind that.
100%.
But are those fans going to come out every night? The ones that want to blow it up, do something new, rebuild.
That's what I posed yesterday.
Do you want to go through that?
Because
in the salary cap,
that was my question.
Most teams run in cycles.
Will you still support it?
Yeah. Are you going to come out? Are you going to stay because they're breaking it down and need to, work it all the way down to build it back up and pick first or second in the draft? Because that's a process. You don't get, it's hard to rebuild quickly. And let me just say that in the salary cap era, which is really what you have to evaluate, it came into play after the whole lockout. Remember, they wiped out a whole year to get a salary cap, which is the only reason we have a team. If we never had a salary cap, we never would have made it. Fair?
Yep.
Never would have made it. So we have a salary cap in the league. Since the salary cap was put in, the Predators have missed the playoff. This was 2005. They've missed the playoffs 3 times. since 2005. During that time, if your perception is, well, they barely get in every year, if you look closely, they have some cycles where they really have a loaded team, which was the first 2 years. Paul Correa, Steve Sullivan, Scotty Hartnell, those teams, they were loaded. Yes, they lost in the first round. That team had another Thomas Foucault. That team had another few years in them. David Poyle was forced to strip that team down because of the ownership change. Right? That happened. So he had to. What did he do? He built it back up with the new ownership group. That took time. All the while, they were still able to get into the playoffs most of the years. Would you rather them just stunk? What would have happened to the franchise if that happened? Wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have a team. Then you had Ryan Suter leave. Had to break it down again. Built it back up. Then you had this last run under Peter Laviolette where you had a chance to win. That window has closed. So you're now trying to reshape it again and load back up, which is hard to do while still making the playoffs. But you know what? They still made the playoffs when they told you we're going into a competitive transition. We've got to get younger. So that's the history. Okay? If you want to go and say, let's strip it down, let's get a new GM, let's blow it up and start over, all right. 3-4 years, I expect to see you in the seats. Okay? I've been to some arenas when they're in that mode. I was in Colorado for a few years.
For 4 hours yesterday.
I went to Denver every year.
You going to show up?
From about 2014, 15, 16. There was a lot of empty seats
or
there.
are you just going to say, I'll see you when you're good again? Because guess what? That business model doesn't work.
Potentially changing the GM doesn't mean you have to strip it down and start
That's true.
over.
That's true.
No, that's true.
That's true.
I get that.
That's very
if
true.
You're if the change for the sake of change, that's a logical
Derek,
argument.
you're bringing up a point of 4 years in a row that it has. It's looked this, and I mean, I think you're talking through a lot of fans. They're like, "Hey, it's the I love you, but I love you, but it's like, I understand that. There's a lot of fans saying exactly what you just said,
right?
Like, okay,
because they care. They're passionate.
Of course.
I get that, and I love that. About
but you're asking them to spend money and time.
Yes.
I mean, that's their right. They're dedicating part of their life to you.
Yeah.
So you have the right to say that.
You can be angry. You can be frustrated. I'm just saying, look at the alternatives.
Scott in Franklin, I promise we'll get to you to begin the second hour. Nate will also get to you. More feedback. Do you care if you hear from ownership? What are your thoughts? 615-737-1025. Hour number 2 next.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, May 11th, we're doing something special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is unprecedented and worth $650. Call today, Wednesday, and qualify free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Hey, Ray Jeter here with Harness LLC. Are you a grading and utility foreman who never gets recognized for a job well done at your current company? Have you been dogged for the last time? Go to selectharness.com. We're looking for 5 foremen. Our benefits and sign-on bonuses are the best in the industry. You owe it to yourself to check out selectharness.com. We care about our people at Harness, your family, and we act like it. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
This segment of ESPN 1025 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle,
and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
With all the new people moving here recently, we thought it'd be a good idea to explain Genesis Diamonds. If you've lived here a while, you know all this, so bear with us. Genesis Diamonds is not an ordinary jewelry store. It was started decades ago by a major diamond wholesaler based in Tel Aviv. He was the diamond supplier for hundreds of upscale jewelry stores. Then he decided to start selling direct to the public at prices that undercut traditional jewelers in a big way. This no middleman approach caught on fast and disrupted the traditional jewelry business model forever. Today, Genesis Diamonds continues that extraordinary value promise. With the highest quality diamonds, the lowest prices, the strongest guarantees, exceptional service, and a mind-blowing selection of fine diamonds and exclusive designer jewelry. So if you've just moved here from New York or California or wherever, we invite you to discover the secret the locals are well aware of: Genesis Diamonds. Just another great reason you made the move to this extraordinary place we're proud to call home.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Sounds baseball today. It's getting ready to start. Check it out. ESPN 94.9. They're going to take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Jumbo Shrimp.
I thought you were about to say Jumbotron.
That's coming up in a minute on 94.9.
Jumbo
Shrimp.
Jumbo Shrimp. That's presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited High.
And brought to you by Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Making me hungry.
Shrimp cocktail, shrimp soup.
Lemon pepper shrimp, orange shrimp. That's about it. Bubba. Benjamin Buford Blue.
Let's
one of the greatest characters of all time.
Yep. By the way, they've been showing that a lot lately on like TBS or
it's always
TNT.
It's on Netflix now.
Well, when they're not showing hockey and basketball, they're showing Gump. Gump. Let's go to Franklin. Scott, you're up next. Welcome in.
Hey, can't believe some of the stuff I heard earlier. I'm with the last caller more so than anybody else. I mean, y'all got to keep Stillman from calling in so much. He's got his own show. But you know, the competitive transition ahead of schedule, I'm with that. The benefit of changing, of getting rid of Arvidsson and Ellis, the benefit of that is now we have a bunch of salary cap room. And what I want to hear from ownership is I want them out there making a splash and signing a legit top six forward to add some scoring on the second line, because that's what this team desperately needs to go with. Nick Johansson and I guess Tomasino is going to be a full-time second liner next year, but that's what we need is another scorer. And, I would have said a week ago that we also need a veteran backup goalie, but I'm not so sure. Maybe Ingram is the answer there, but, I was, thinking too that someone along the lines of a Marc-Andre Fleury on a 1 or 2 year deal would have also been the other glaring need, but hopefully Ingram can be that guy because he did show flashes. But, the folks that are down on Forsberg or don't think he deserves a lot of money, I've heard a lot of ridiculous derogatory stuff, but Forsberg now owns the number 2, the number 4, and the number 6 goal-scoring seasons in franchise history. To hear some people say it, he hardly ever plays. I mean, he missed a dozen games this year, but most of that was due to COVID, not due to injury. So, I mean, people need to get realistic. As far as Fiala for Granlund. Granlund would have set the franchise record for assists this year had Yossi not blown it out by 20. So,
and by the way, they've had huge production out of Granlund since he's been here.
He's been really
not only
good.
that, it's not only the production, but he was the team MVP last year.
He's a winning player.
He was the team MVP. He's the one that's in there. Penalty kill, doing all the grunt work, the scut work, and he was one of the definite ones that, as they say, set the tone. So, Fiala scored more goals this year, but in the grand scheme of things, I still think we're ahead on that trade.
I think it's a wash, honestly.
I think it's been a win-win for both.
I do think it's a win-win. I believe, Darren, you were just talking about a lot of the intangibles that don't show up when if you're just looking at goals and assists. That's not a fair way to evaluate the trade. And I thought our caller Scott just had a really good point. Granlund is a guy in the foxhole that does everything. The ability to defend, the ability to throw his body in front of shots, the way he carries himself amongst the team, the respect he has of his teammates, it's off the chart. And he's going to be a Predator for the next 3 years. Kevin Fiala is not signed for next year. They got salary cap issues.
Well, they got issues. They got a lot of dead money.
And what is the adage of the salary cap? You find ways to keep your best guys. Bill Guerin had a lot of tough choices. He signed Joel Eriksson-Ek. He signed Kirill Kaprizov. And you go down the list, 3 to 4 other guys. He didn't commit to Kevin Fiala. Now, Kevin Fiala is an unbelievable talent, and he's going to keep scoring goals for somebody. I'd take him back, honestly, here, because I do think he brings a ton to the table. But let's not discount what Mikael Granlund brings to the table, too. If you're going to just dump all over that trade, I think that's unfair. I think it's, like you said, Darren, I would categorize it as a win-win.
Yeah, it's been a win-win.
And unfortunately, when they made the trade, Granlund did not have a good completion to the season or a good start to the next season. He's really thrived under John Hines, but he did not thrive under Peter Laviolette, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if something the organization needs to think about, speaking of win-win, it's probably, if you don't want articles written like Adam Vingan hearing other voices, maybe you should let the players talk in all situations, because it's just a really, really bad decision, because fans deserve to hear from players in wins or losses. Mm-hmm. They're professional athletes, and fans deserve, by the way, you are telling your fan base, your viewers, with you guys, Willie, our listeners here on these airwaves, and people that go to games, you're telling them you only will hear from your players when things are good. I'll just tell you, it's a horrible message. Horrible message. And quite honestly, it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. These are professional athletes that make a lot of money, and your fans dedicate time and their money to either showing up to your product, buying your product, watching your product, or listening to your product. And you've told them you're only going to hear from your players or your coaches, but in the case, really, your players when things are good. That's an embarrassing message. It's a slap in the fan's face. You're telling grown men you can't talk in a loss or when you're losing? Give me a break. Let me tell you, if that room, and I don't believe this for a minute, if that room is full of guys that won't talk when they lose or they're behind, you better clean house. You better go get some different professional athletes. And I don't believe that to be the case, by the way. I'm just saying, if that were the case, if you're shielding guys that are they're not tough enough to talk in losses or when you're behind, you got the wrong group of guys. But let me just tell you, you want this stuff to quiet down, you might want to make your players available when they lose, because fans deserve to hear from them. They do. And it's a horrible decision to shield and only let players talk in good times and not in bad. I'll tell you what, why don't you just go up and down the rows and just slap your fans in the face? Say, you don't deserve it. We don't care about you. Only when things are great. We'll all hug and high five in good times. But you don't deserve to hear from players when it's tough. With this just in, 82 games. Gosh, you're going to lose games. I know, shocking. But how about this decision? Whoever's behind the decision to shield players when you're losing or in a loss and that the fans don't deserve to hear from them, and oh, by the way, they don't have to man up and talk, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. And like I said, if it is a problem in the room that they're saying we won't do that, which I don't believe for a minute. No, for a second. But if it is, then you need to clean house. You better get some new athletes. Derek, did you run when you lost?
Nah.
I know, because I dealt with you. No, you didn't. I mean, it's part of the business, man.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. You're going to tell somebody who makes millions of dollars, hey, man, you only have to answer questions when things are good. Wow. Sign me up. That sounds like a great gig. Let me get this straight. You're going to give me millions and only have to talk when things are good? Fantastic. Awesome. Where do I sign? It's embarrassing. It's honestly, it's embarrassing. And, you know, you don't want stuff like this written, then you know what? Here's an idea. Make your players available. Fans want to hear. Your players can handle it. The grown men. They're professional athletes. And by the way, some of them are really good at it.
I thought yesterday was a good point. Yesterday the guys were very
was
accessible.
A great point.
That was good.
These guys can handle it.
But
it's
I think
part
you're
of the
saying
business.
Consistency is always a good thing.
Well, I mean, if you're only going to send one, if you're going to shield everything, then you're going to get articles like this written. If you're only going to get one narrative and it's going to be a small window when you're going to hear from people, then expect more articles like this to come out. Expect more people to talk about it. If that's how you're going to operate, hey, we're just going to have this small little bubble and this small little window, and this is how we're going to operate, and these are the people you're going to hear from, and this is when you're going to hear from them, what do you expect? You know, at some point, you feel like you got to speak up for the fans. They deserve to hear. And by the way, have a little bit more faith in your players. They're grown men. They can handle it. Have you ever talked to Matthias Ekholm after a loss? He's spectacular. He gets it. Roman Josi can handle losses. It's part of the business. It sucks. I get it. But it's part of the business. All right, we'll come back. Nate, Bob, and Antioch. More phone calls on the other side. Willie, you've got a word about Lee Company.
All right, let's talk Lee Company. 615-567-1000 is the phone number. Give them a call, and it may be for any number of reasons why you want to call them. Hey, the weather getting warmer now. You might be realizing air conditioning not running very well right now. You might have a couple units. Maybe you hadn't used one of them in a while, and whoa, not getting cold air at me right now, and that's not a good thing. Well, 567-1000. 615-567-1000. Boom. Hit them up with a call or go to leecompany.com, and they're on it for you. But better yet, look long-term. Look consistent. Stay out of these situations by being a part of their home maintenance plan. It's smart. They give you annual checkups of your air conditioning unit before the weather gets warm. Same thing in the fall before the weather starts getting cold. They'll check your heating unit once a year. Same thing with your plumbing system and your electric system. They'll recommend repairs when needed, and you'll get discounts on those repairs as part of your membership on the home maintenance plan. So call Lee Company right now. They're a big sponsor of the Nashville Predators, very supportive. 615-567-1000 or leecompany.com.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing? Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Do you have joint pain in your knees or hips or shoulder or back? Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows how disruptive it is.
How can you focus? How can you be at your optimal best when your body's under attack by pain?
That's why Emmitt's such a proponent of QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is here with regenerative options using natural biologics, non-surgical alternatives that offer lasting relief for pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders.
This natural biological treatment gives them the chance to get back in the game and to have a normal life.
QC Kinetics treatments laser focus on areas of intense pain, allowing your body to heal itself with no drugs, so you can focus on normal life.
Walking up the stairs without pain, getting on your bicycle without pain, running again, playing with the kids.
Your consultation is absolutely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
When looking for quality adult recreational sports in Nashville, look no further than Mid-State Sports. With over 25,000 participants, they are one of the largest sports organizations in the Southeast. Summer registration is now open for adult sports like softball, sand volleyball, soccer, flag football, kickball, and basketball. For a full list of adult sports offerings, check out midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi, and this is Smashwell.
Going to the front of the net, he scores. What a gorgeous move. Roman Yossi.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I love it. Back here on the DDC on this gorgeous Wednesday. It's going to be hot. It's kind of hot in here. It's hot outside, too. D-Mace, I think he's digging it. Let's go to Nate. You're up next. Welcome in.
First off, guys, I wanted to say tonight is supposed to be my first ever Nashville SC game as a professional soccer club, so I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. Have fun.
Enjoy.
Yeah, I got invited by a friend, so real cool. So with the Preds, we have said this already. I don't like waffling in the middle for the past 3-4 years. It all kind of started with the President's Trophy being knocked out after that. I definitely do not have a clear understanding of the path the organization wants to go to. Now, I know, Billy, you're so adamant. You know exactly what they're doing. We're waffling in the middle. We weren't expected to make the playoffs before the season. We make the playoffs, and then we get knocked out in the first round. I feel like if this quote-unquote competitive transition continues, this is what we're going to be for the next, I don't know how many years. I want a clear path. I want more younger players playing. I understand we have to play, Ryan Johansson, Ekholm, Yossi, Forsberg this year. We all know about next year. Duchesne, because all of these big contracts. But I could just be completely off. I could be not understanding who's young and who's not because.
All right. Well, Nate, let me list the younger players who have come in and the older players they've shipped out. Okay.
Yeah.
PK Subban. Did they ship him out at the right time? By the way,
Probably,
PK was
yeah.
awesome. PK was awesome
based on what
on the
happened
desk.
this year, yes.
PK was tremendous on
So
the desk
you're
last
surprised
night.
by that?
I'm not surprised at all. In
Yeah.
fact, I was thinking about this. I think PK might end up getting a better contract offer to stay doing that than he will on the ice next year. It depends on how bad he wants to play. I mean, he's going from making $9 million a year to I don't know what he's going to get offered. It's not going to be anything close to that.
Do you think Rick Tockett's going to get a job in the offseason?
Possibly.
Okay, then there's a spot to fill.
Well, he'll have his choice. PK could do the Tom Brady almost, I think. But
Well,
all right,
gonna
I
say,
digress.
You think he'd be
Okay.
better than Brady at this?
I don't think he's going to get $375 million.
But I'm saying he will get. He will
I'm gonna
be.
say no.
They will be competing for his services. He's going to be
Yeah,
awesome at that.
of
All right,
course.
so PK, Nick Bonino, Kyle Turris, Victor Arvidsson, Ryan Ellis, and I listed them all yesterday. And I didn't bring my list because I did the show from my house yesterday.
Callie Yarncroke.
Callie Yarncroke, Eric Halla. Those are all older players that they shipped out. I'm probably missing one or two other ones.
Good Branson.
Austin Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Watson.
Good Branson. And then look at all the guys they've come in. First or second year players. Yakov Trenin. Tanner Jeannot. Alex Carrier. Dante Fabro. Ellie Tolvanen. Phil Tomasino. Michael McCarron. Matt Luff. Cole Smith. I mean, there's a lot. They've gone from being one of the older teams to one of the younger teams.
And most of those have been with trades, am I correct?
No,
not really.
Those are all those.
No?
Remember the Milwaukee team that dominated a couple years ago?
Okay, we
Most
don't
of
have
those guys
time
are
to go up and
homegrown
down.
guys.
This is all okay.
So, but what is
what's your
unclear
take,
about
Nate? Do you want to hear from ownership? Like, weigh in on what we're talking about. Like, we
I
don't need to
I don't
go
understand
back
that
to
you
the
don't
whole
understand
roster.
the plan. The plan has been really easily laid out there.
I mean, I will say this, since y'all were talking about this, especially yesterday, yes, I will continue to go if they end up, being really bad and not being, in the middle or towards the top or whatever, because I will clearly understand what's happening. I will support them through that.
Okay.
Ownership, I mean, to me, I could be completely wrong with this, but with all this competitive transition and whatever he phrased it as before he described it as competitive transition, just to be harsh, GM David Poyle seems like the GM version of Butch Jones with all these kind of catchphrases.
Okay. Thank you for the phone call. Appreciate it.
It's fair for, a fan to think that way. Looking at this team.
Although, in fairness, I don't think David has said brick by brick.
Yeah, he hadn't said that yet.
don't
Hopefully,
you
he
really
never
think
says
you
that.
really think he has sayings like Butch Jones? Do you get that impression, honestly?
And people are looking at it from
I
the
think he's
competitive,
being, he has not
rebuild
said
or whatever.
champions of life.
Uh-huh.
He has not said that. Or brick by brick.
Yeah. But he did.
Look, no, Willie, there are certain things that I think John Hines is right. It's the consistent message, and I think that's what some of the fans. I'm not trying to speak for Nate but I know there's been a lot of feedback we've had on our text line or people calling in of this kind of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah, it is.
It's consistent.
But people are tired of hearing the same.
It's a plan.
I know it's consistent, and I know it's a plan.
You can't have it both ways. You want them to come up with a new saying, a different plan every day?
They want to hear somebody else say it. Willie, it's not
Okay.
what's being said. They want to hear management say it.
It's back to the
Everybody
kids.
go to the left. Oh, next day. Everybody go to the right. Okay, let's slow down. Let's speed up. I mean, it's consistent.
Willie,
That's
it's
how you
not-
build a winner.
You're absolutely
with a plan
right.
and you build.
You're right. But it's been, not the whole 25 years, but part of the 25 years, it's been the same message and haven't gotten any further in the playoffs. So they would like to hear it from someone else. And when you, as a GM, don't make any trades during the trade period, you don't, do anything or bring anyone that's going to make the team better, because in your mind as a GM, we have a good team. We are, things are running well with this team. I don't want to mess up the chemistry of this team. Okay, if that's indeed the case, then you need to now start using that surplus to go get players. You didn't do it during the trade deadline. Now you need to do it.
Yes, I 100% agree.
I think that would tell the fans more than anything that you are doing something. The plan is to go get players to help this team. When you don't do it during the trade deadline and then you say we're in this competitive transition, they're tired of hearing that because they're like, well, you're not doing anything about it.
But Nate just called and said he wanted to see the young players. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I didn't understand
That's exactly what they did the last 2 years.
I didn't understand what he said.
And they still made the playoffs.
We were kind of going in circles.
Now, the next step, I agree, is to now use the cap space you have developed, evaluate the young players that you played, and add 1 or 2 pieces in the offseason. I think you're going to hear that message.
All right, let's go to Bob in Antioch. You're up next. Welcome in.
Good morning, guys. I'm optimistic. First of all, I'm a day one season ticket holder. I'm optimistic because when you rebuild, you get younger and you take your lumps with younger players. Well, they're one of the youngest teams in the league. They've gone from being one of the oldest to one of the youngest, and they took their lumps with younger players in the playoffs. But I think if you step back, they definitely made progress this season, and I think that maybe the big mistake that they made is just not going ahead and calling it a rebuild, because that's what it is. They tore it down. They got rid of all the players that you guys mentioned. They got younger. They made progress. They took some lumps, but I really think that they're headed in the right direction. And so I think maybe there might have been some apprehension about calling it what it was.
But you can't call it a rebuild and then make the playoffs. And by the way, the reason that nobody wants to use rebuild anymore is optics, because Bob, as a season 1 ticket holder, they may have you because you've been around buying tickets and going to games for almost 25 years. But there's a whole lot of people that have just moved here in the last couple of years, and they kind of come and they go. And when you say that R word, they go. They don't come. And I think it's more about optics.
Oh, I totally agree with that. And just going back to it could, a lot of this group was pretty dominant when it was in Milwaukee, and maybe it's a sign that they've got more potential than people think, because even though they were in a rebuild, they managed to eke into the playoffs. Now, I'm not naive enough to think, hey, we're going to be, Stanley Cup contenders in a year or two, but I do think that they're on the right trajectory.
All right, thank you for the call, Bob. Let's sneak one more in. Good William, points. You're up next. Welcome in.
Hey guys, thank you. Bear with me. My dad and my granddad used to go to the Flyers game, Dixie Flyers games, and they took me to the South Stars games in the '80s, and then hockey became my number one sport because other sports bored me. Football, they just bored me. The action and back and forth with hockey, and it was a AAA team for the North Stars, the Nashville South Stars, and none of them guys stood out to me but one and I've never seen any. He just stood out. Was Kelly Rudy, who was a goalie for the Indianapolis Checkers, and the only reason he was in AAA is because Billy Smith was with the Islanders. That's all. What I think right now, I'm glad I'm hearing all this negativity, because I think fans are no longer just willy-nilly. The fans are right. Willie's wrong. Y'all are wrong. The fans are right because they're taking ownership in the team. They're not selling for mediocrity. You can put lipstick on a sow all you want to, but it's still a pig. And Poyle's not very good at asset management. Ellis should have been traded 2 years ahead. We didn't get anything. He should have been traded 2 years. We got 2 guys that one had reconstructive knee surgery, and the other guy was, I don't know, Myers. What was that? That was like a throw-in. We took that off their hands because he was probably a problem child. They should have got. He put Johansson and Duchesne on the unprotected list last year, but he signed them to them contracts, and nobody else wants them. Who wants his assistant general managers? We used to have guys get plucked off, like Fenton and Sherrow. Nobody wants these guys below him now. Nobody wants to do with this organization. Like the New England Patriots, when they start plucking off their assistant coaches, nobody wants none of these assistant guys. I think Poyle.
Who's the coach of the Wild? Who's the coach of the Wild?
Evanson.
Yeah. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, we fired him. He left.
Okay. Carl Taylor. You think he's going to get a job?
I'm talking about front office. I'm not talking about coaching.
Okay.
Nobody wants none of these assistant managers. What do we got? Like 8 of them. Nobody wants another one.
What are you basing that on?
Here's the deal. You're just throwing stuff out there. You have no facts to back that up at all. None. You're just throwing stuff out there.
I got just as much as you do.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Boy, yeah.
Okay. Anything else, William? Do you want to just throw anything else out there?
Did you think they would make the playoffs before the season, William?
Who cares about the playoffs? Anybody make the playoffs?
Who cares about the playoffs?
No, I'm saying, did you think they would make the playoffs before the season?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they must have done something right if you thought that they could get to the playoffs.
Right. I thought
the
plan must have been good. You picked them to go to the playoffs.
Hey, and all they did was embarrass themselves in their organization.
Oh.
They showed no face.
Okay.
They got swept. They got their butt kicked.
They did?
They did.
It's embarrassing.
Is there a reason for that?
Have we not said that on the show?
It was a AAA guy. There was a AAA guy that called up to the big leagues and got mopped.
Yeah, we've already. Yeah, I get it. The horse is in the glue factory. We got it, and we've said that. Anything else, William?
Yeah, Poyle, the time has passed. I give him respect. His asset management is very poor now.
That's fine. That's your opinion. That's fine. That's why we're doing this. It's okay.
Okay, but every time you this thing where you're making all the callers look like they're wrong, and I think the callers are right. They're finally taking ownership of the team.
William, I don't think we made the callers look like as if they were wrong. I mean, we've agreed with some of the stuff that the callers have said.
I listen. I take in what you say, and I listen, and I also listen to the callers. Every time a caller comes in, y'all just play like you're tennis. Y'all just hit the ball back. Anybody can play that game. You don't look at the ball and study it. You just hit it right back.
Tennis is a great game. I love ping pong.
I can't do it with a torn ACL.
Pickleball's
I
good
can't play.
too.
My tennis days are over.
My backhand is not that good anymore.
I'm just going to stay at the net and slam it.
It's called debate. You have discussion. It's
so
good.
William, we're supposed to, when a caller calls in and give their takes, and we're respectful to them. And we, honestly, we've agreed with what they said.
By the way, this show lets you talk.
Exactly.
William, you've been on the line for 5 minutes. Okay? You get to talk on this show.
Thank you for that.
So we haven't been bouncing it back and forth like a tennis.
We don't say, William, you're up next. 15 seconds, go.
Right, which some people do.
I mean,
or don't take calls at all.
So you're going to hammer us, but we're letting you talk, just like everybody else.
Well, really, I didn't mean to get that argumentative. My main point was I'm just happy to see fans that are taking ownership.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with
William,
that.
applause.
Nothing wrong with that.
We are with you. Let's all group hug. We're with you. William on 3. Ready? Break.
William is a great name, by the way.
Oh, man.
My mom calls me Willie.
All right. There you go.
But the question is, when she gets mad, does she call you Villy? William, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I mean, listen. Again, until you're gonna hear these calls, you're gonna hear more of these calls than not moving forward. Until management, somebody other than Poyle talks. You're just gonna hear. This is what it's gonna be.
Agreed.
And okay,
has anybody said on the show that's
absolutely?
Who's disagreeing with that?
Exactly. It's like it's fair.
I don't have a problem with that. The only thing I'm trying to defend is they do have a plan. There was a lot of clamoring. Get younger, get younger, get younger. That's exactly what they've done. They told you exactly what they're going to do. Most people did not think they would make the playoffs, but they have made the playoffs. This was not a year that they were supposed to contend. So what were your expectations? Now, as Derek pointed out, the next step, and a couple callers have done it as well, you take the salary cap space that you have accumulated and you do something with it. That's the next step forward.
All right, we'll come back. More DDC next.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Hey everybody, Joe Rexrode here for FanDuel Sportsbook. One of the things I love about betting my favorite sports is I'm always finding new player props or game props I like. On FanDuel, one thing that's really cool is you can combine prop bets from multiple games, and you can do it on multiple sports now. It's called Same Game Parlay Plus. You can only find them on FanDuel. You can combine, for example, NBA playoff player props with a baseball home run hitter. You can go hockey and basketball. Of course, locally, something with John Morant and Roman Yossi, although, the Yossi has a shelf life on it. Of course, Morant we'll see there with that series as well. If you don't want to build your own same-game parlay, you can check out the popular same-game parlay section. You can join the bets other users are jumping on, and sometimes that can be some really good stuff. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code Joe102. Get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Make every moment more. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Just use promo code Joe102 so they know I sent you. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
I've used it for a year now, and I've worried 0 time. I just enter in the time, it's calculated, and it's taken out of bank account, and it's just done. I love it.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
I'm firing up the grill for burgers and want to impress the neighbors.
This bourbon has a smoky flavor that'll go great with your grilling.
Nice. Wow. And look at that price. Well done.
I prefer medium rare. Your neighbors will love it. Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More, with the lowest prices in Nashville. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Hey, this is Pekka Rinne. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC on this gorgeous Wednesday. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you. Appreciate all the interaction. We're not done today. By the way, C-Mace will join us at 1 o'clock. Tim Hasselback coming up at high noon. But let's talk with the voice of the Grizzlies. Pete Pranica is on the line with us. Tough news. Fought hard. Game 4, but tough news about Ja. How does this team try to pick themselves up knowing that Morant is done for the series, done for the playoffs?
I think it can be a galvanizing moment for them. Really, Game 4 was in their control for about 46 and a half minutes.
Yep.
And they let it slip away. So certainly, they have the ability to get this series back to San Francisco. I don't think there's any question about that. They're just going to have to rally. They understand what the situation is now. It's like, okay, we're not going to have them. So how do we go about winning games? They were 20-5 without him in the regular season. It's not an unusual circumstance for them, but the level of competition they're facing right now is extremely high, and one of the teams that I think you have to have in the championship conversation, along with Boston and Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Now, should this be, and maybe I'm jumping the ship here a little bit too soon, but should this be a concern to the organization and to Memphis fans that once again Ja Morant is hurt?
I don't know that it's anything chronic or it's just something that it's an accident or an accidental injury, if you will. I don't know that it's anything chronic. There have been guys that have bone bruises and have had recurrent issues with their knees, but you get recovery time and rehabilitation time, and I'm sure that he'll be back. I don't, if you were looking at multiple knee surgeries, let's say, as opposed to a bone bruise, which is what the diagnosis is at this point, I'm not going to worry about it at this point. Bone bruise takes a long time to heal. Well, you may well have a long summer to get ready for next year.
Now, with that being said, how does this team? And listen, they've done it before. And like you said, this could be a galvanizing moment for the Memphis Grizzlies, and they were able to do it without Ja. But that was the regular season. This is the playoffs. what is it that needs to happen for this team to make this a seven-game series? Because I just think if it is a galvanizing moment, then this will be a 7-game series.
Yeah, and that means that Jaren Jackson Jr. has to be fantastic, and it means he has to stay out of foul trouble. It means Desmond Bane, whatever issues he's dealing with his back, he's got to be healthier. He's got to be productive. No one guy is going to help the Grizzlies extend the series and send it back to San Francisco. It's going to have to be a team effort. And one of the things that has been maybe subpar for the Grizzlies is their bench production. DeAnthony Melton, had a career year. Playoffs, he's really struggled. Didn't give the Grizzlies much in Game 4. In fact, I think he was 0 for 3, 0 for 4, something like that from the floor. He's going to have to produce. At that. Now, having said that, I think Jaren's going to have to go probably 25-8, 25-10, something like that. Bane's going to have to go for 25 plus because those are the guys that are the best scoring options for this Grizzlies team, and they are going to have to be the primetime players, along with Tyus Jones, who I thought played one heck of a game in Game 4. And so those are the three guys I think that really have to bring it, and you need another strong game from Kyle Anderson off the bench, which is what they got in Game 4.
We're talking to Pete Pranica, who is the television voice of the Memphis Grizzlies on Bally Sports. Pete, Willie here. Good to talk to you as always. Tell me the big picture here. You've got this young team for the Grizzlies going up against, the Warriors, who are resurgent. They lost the limelight there for a couple years with all the injuries, but they're that brand. I just feel like this is a great moment. You hope to break through here, but you feel like it's not the end, right? The window is just opening, it seems like.
Yeah. And, Willie, congratulations on another playoff run, albeit short for the Predators.
Too short, as we've been discussing on our show.
Entirely too short.
Yeah.
Entirely too short. I hate that. I was hoping that you guys would make it to the second round, that I might actually be able to get to Bridgestone and see a playoff game in person, because those are special moments, obviously. I think the window is just opening. Look, this is the youngest team since at least the 97 postseason that has even made the second round of the playoffs. And for the majority of this series until Game 4 in San Francisco, they were doing it without Steven Adams, who's one of the oldest guys on the team anyway. So it's a very young team. It's a talented team. I think everybody would tell you that they are ahead of schedule going into the season. The best hope was, okay, can you be a top 6 seed so that you avoid the play-in tournament? Well, they were better than top 6 seed. They had home court in the first round of the playoffs and in the second round of the playoffs. So, the window's just opening. Ultimately, they're going to have to be some roster tweaks because, you have all these young guys kind of at the same time. You're going to have to deal with their contracts because you have a lot of talented young players whose contracts are going to come due at the same time. So you're going to have to juggle some cap issues and take a deep dive and look at this season and, okay, where can you get a little bit better? I think you can always use a little bit more shooting. But, Willie, to your point, I think, the championship window is just now starting to crack open for this team, and the future is exceptionally bright.
How is the cap space, the assets that they have to try to address the needs?
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it because the CBA is really, really arcane and hard to understand. But the Grizzlies are.
I'm glad I don't have to learn some of those rules. I can tell you that. It's a little simpler in hockey, I think.
Yeah, I know that the Grizzlies are. It's going to be tight, and so then the question becomes: does Robert Pera, as the owner, does he want to go into the luxury tax if you think this championship window is opening and you need to spend over and above to put you into the tax? To get you over the hump. It's always been the philosophy of this organization that you don't want to go into the tax because if you're a taxpayer, obviously you're paying the tax, and also then you're not getting back money from the other teams that are in the tax if you're not. So I think being prudent financially and understanding that the championship window is starting to open, there are going to be some hard decisions that are going to have to be made, and maybe some players need to take a step back and it's like, okay, well, how do we keep this group together? Because at the trade deadline this year, everything was from the players and fans alike, hey, keep this group together, see how far they can go, because it has been a very good and cohesive group.
Pete, great stuff. I'm sorry we pushed back your window here a couple of out, Ja. Let's hope they can continue that.
I appreciate it, guys. And just one quick thing. Even though we can't televise the game tonight, we will have full post-game coverage on Valley Sports Southeast immediately after the final horn. Rob Fisher and I will be on set, and I'm hoping I get a walk-off interview tonight because that means the Grizzlies have won and force us to a Game 6.
All right. We'd love to see that. Pete, thanks again.
You got it.
All right. Pete Pranica, Valley Sports. Check out their post-game coverage tonight after the game as the Grizzlies try to stay alive. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more of Darren, Donick, and Chase next.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, May 11th, we're doing something special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is unprecedented and worth $650. Call today, Wednesday, and qualify free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Proud to announce that they have won the Top Gun Award for the best Pella sales organization in the U.S. They have the best culture, best customer satisfaction, and best growth in the business. To celebrate, Pella is offering their amazingly affordable products at 0% financing with no payments for 12 months. Do you need new doors or windows? I suggest you shop with Nashville's Pella experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
In a world where human interaction seems to be reduced to chats and clicks and emails, where transactions are measured only by speed, where corporate policies overrule common sense, sometimes you just want to go old school. Welcome to Genesis Diamonds, a refreshing experience where personal relationships and authentic interaction are the norm, not the exception. At Genesis, you're here celebrating something awesome in your life, and we want to know all about it. We want to hear your story, listen to your requests, and be a meaningful part of whatever occasion this is. A proposal, an anniversary, a birthday, graduation, push gift, sweet 16. If it's important to you, it's important to us. So we don't care how long it takes. We're not paid on commission, and we're not beholden to some corporate rule book. We just want to help you get what you want to make it into a special memory. So take a break from modern shopping and go old school with us at Genesis. Let's start a real relationship that you can count on for life. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Our man Tim Hasselback coming up at high noon. Platoon, we gonna get high. Let's go to Josh. You're up next on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we got you.
First of all, God bless you guys for taking all these calls from these fans. I know how rough that can be, maybe. I am a passionate Predators fan. I'm not a NHL fan. I can't even watch other teams. I have a vested interest in this Predators team like it's a family. You know, it's not always good, it's not always bad, but it's our city's team. I don't know if firing Poyle and the coach will be a good thing. I mean, it will obviously change some things. It's kind of like gambling on these young players. You don't know if they're going to be good or not. You don't know what you're getting. But yeah, everybody's just really upset, and I think there's a lot of other factors that are going into that too. I mean, there's a lot going on in our world right now. As far as when Poyle, accountability, like people want to hear something, the plan, et cetera. And I'm not calling in to argue with you guys at all, but at the end of the day, it's a business. It's all about the money. I mean, even these players like Forsberg, it's about that paycheck. I get it. It's their livelihood. I think back in the 80s and maybe even the 90s, maybe not so much. I think today with these huge conglomerates and the governments and, it's just all about money. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your opinions. They just care about that paycheck. And I think it's really unfortunate. I kind of refuse to believe that or live in that world. I love watching the Predators, and I root for them all the time. I mean, even going into the fourth game, which, by the way, was an extremely exciting game to watch. And I had a coworker that went to that game. He's very lucky. I mean, that was an amazing game. I don't care what anybody says. I'm proud of them. I mean, I think we're lucky to have a hockey team. I mean, I think it's amazing. But I had a couple points, and I don't know if you guys covered this or not, but, Saros getting injured, and hopefully there's no long-term damage there. But to my perception, the coach played him way too much. So where's the accountability on that, especially if there is going to be some long-term damage? We don't know. He could be fine, but that was so messed up. I mean, as soon as he was hurt,
let me jump in for a second, Josh, because this has been out there a lot. So I do want to ask this question, and I'm not saying it's fair, unfair to have that opinion, because I knew it was going to happen. That's how typically it works. It's kind of like the minute Derrick Henry goes down, it's like, see, you gave him the ball too much. Yeah. But I ask you this question, and just be honest, and that's fine. Your answer may be yes. Were you saying that throughout the course of the season? Did you keep with the constant narrative like he's playing too much, he's playing too much, he's playing too much?
Yes, but it wasn't based on his performance. It was only actually when they mentioned how many few games Riddick has started. Right.
Well, you know why I'm asking, right? Because it's the easiest response from everybody is the minute he gets hurt, see? He played too much. Because I'm not disagreeing with all the people that said that, because I'm not so sure that is the right number for his workload. But here is the counter to that. Do you think this team makes the playoffs if UC sits 8 more games than he did?
And they played Riddick 8 more games.
And they played David Riddick 8 more games than UC.
I would say probably not.
I agree. Okay, that's my point. Okay, I'm not saying it's an unfair statement, but if you think UC should have sat more, were you then okay that they weren't going to make the playoffs? Because I don't believe they make the playoffs.
And then your point is well taken. Look, in hindsight, David Riddick did not do what they hoped he would do, and that is instill confidence and play well.
And that's what I was going to say. Now, Josh could then counter with, and a lot of fans will, well, that's on David Boyle because David Riddick wasn't good enough. Oh, okay. Right. I mean, that's fair. I get it.
But they did the best they could with what they had. Right. David Riddick did win a few big games, but the bottom line is, you look at the numbers. The numbers
it wasn't good enough.
Said what they said.
They were spoiled with the Pekka UC 1-2 punch for many, many years, and they didn't have that this year.
Yeah. So basically you're saying we really only had one goalie, one option really to get us into the playoffs, and that's just what happened.
Well, he's been named a Vezina finalist, so what do you think?
Yeah. I mean,
that means he's the top 3 goalie in the league.
Hey, listen, I love Saros. I mean, I remember when Pekka Rinne, and this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and you guys might have a better timeline, but I didn't know the backup goalie's name. I knew Pekka Rinne. Everybody knew Pekka Rinne. I love Pekka Rinne. I mean, so when Saros would step in, he sucked. And I hated him so much that I learned his name so I could direct that anger, But all that to say,
But when you say he sucked, have you looked at the numbers that he put up as the backup?
no, yeah, and like I said, man, I am not calling in to argue with stats. I know you guys know what you're talking about. But what I'm saying is, a fan that doesn't have that education that you guys do. The games that I saw, so that's not all the games. You guys, I'm sure you see every game. So he just wasn't good, and this was when he was just starting, you know, and they would give him that opportunity to be the backup for Pecorino, you know. But all that to say, he's come such a long way. He's an amazing goalie. He's the shortest, or one of the shortest goalies in the league. I mean, that says a lot. And I love watching him play. So yeah, Saros is a great goalie. He's fantastic.
Hey Josh, we're up against it, man. We let you be on air for 5 minutes on this show.
You guys,
can you believe that? We let a caller be on for 5 minutes and speak his mind.
I can talk all day to you guys. I appreciate it. And, great show. I love the dynamic. Wait, are you joking? I can keep talking, right?
No, I know, but no, I'm not joking. I'm actually being serious.
Yeah, we do have to get to a break.
Yeah, we do have to go to the break. But
Man, I wasn't even arguing with you guys, and you could have cut me off.
Look, we would have let you go longer, but we're up against it. Thank you. Over 5 minutes on the show, folks. A caller got to be on the air. Over 5 minutes. All right, we'll come back. Thank you, Josh. We'll come back. Hour number 3 with Tim Hasselbeck. We'll do that next.
Let's talk Loan Pronto for a moment. If you have thought of moving, we know it's hard right now with very little inventory, prices crazy high, rates moving up. Here's a better idea. Let Loan Pronto refinance your current home and turn all that equity you have into cash. Then you can take that cash and transform your current house. And you're better off. A new kitchen, new bathroom, whatever your vision is of your dream home, talk to Loan Pronto. They've got the method to do it. It's called the Home Improvement Refi. Give your home a total makeover. So now you can add whatever it is that you have. Hardwoods, outdoor living space, swimming pool, spa, new cabinets, appliances, home office, on down the list. Whatever's on your mind, what you do, you call Loan Pronto, let them turn that home equity into cash, use the cash to transform your current home. Call Loan Pronto for the details. Ask about that home improvement refi and give your home a total makeover. Skip that next house payment in the process. Here's the phone number, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit parmanenergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you, with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Get your sexy on.
We are. Third hour DDC here on this Wednesday afternoon. We are. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Derek Mason. The question is Tim ready? Tim Hasselbeck, are you ready?
I'm ready. I was born ready, Darren.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. If in your career, did you ever get mentored or did you mentor anybody throughout your playing days?
Tim ain't mentoring nobody.
You know what's funny is
that's Derek, by the way.
Just messing with you.
That's not Benny from the Bronx.
I mean, I was about to go somewhere, and I was like, I might get in trouble.
Tim, like, I ain't mentoring you. Get out of here.
Hey, you guys can let your imagination run.
Man, that's not even right.
Let's just say I went to Michigan State receivers. Let's just say that, okay? Take a deep breath.
I'm not going to name the receiver. I'm just going to leave it alone.
I picture Tim right now doing the Kirk Cousins. You like that? You like that?
I'm gonna take a deep breath.
He's looking right at you, D-Mace.
Take a deep breath. Okay, and now we're good. Okay. So,
back to regularly scheduled programming.
Let me see. Like in terms of a quarterback that I played with, that maybe that had like a really positive impact on me. Like in terms of like how my career ended up and the things I learned from him that were valuable, I would tell you Corey Detmer. Corey Detmer was a backup in the league for a long time, and I think I learned the value that a backup can have through him. Does that make sense? Like, he was not a great player. He was smaller than I was. Like, so there were certain things about even his game, how he interacted with teammates, all of that stuff that he was really helpful to my career, because I think he gave me a look into like what it could look like, if you weren't the starter, you weren't the biggest and strongest guy, how to make it work. So I would say that for Coy. And then I would tell you this, I do believe that I think by the time I was at the Giants, I mean, and I hope that he would say this, I do feel like I had a positive impact on Eli in terms of things that I had seen and experienced that, for a guy, he was in his second year, and I thought there were times that, like, he didn't speak up enough in terms of, voicing the things that he cared about, and making sure that we were doing them. I believe I helped him with that. And then I'll tell you, I feel like I helped Jared Lorenzen make a roster and, kind of did it in a way that, 2 years later, it probably cost me my spot on that same roster. So
would you talk over meals? I mean, when did you when did you kind of help him?
Yeah. So no doubt, like over meals for sure. The quarterbacks are always hanging with each other in the locker room, in a meeting room before a meeting started. Like my experience with Eli, like when I was there and I knew as a backup, like my philosophy was like I was never going to let him watch tape without me right there watching it with him. Like that was my approach to it with him. And then, with Jared, he was such a different player than me that like there were things that he could just do that I couldn't. Like he was so strong, and he could throw the ball so hard and far, and but there were other things that he really struggled with, like getting the ball to somebody on an outside zone run play. Used to run those really wide stretch, handoffs, and he'd have a hard time getting there. And there are kind of tricks to the trade that, I helped him with that, I think ultimately, helped him be a little bit better player. And so, yeah, it would happen, kind of anytime we're around each other.
It's hard to believe, in all seriousness. It's coming up on 3 years since we lost him. Crazy.
Yeah, it is. And, unfortunately for him, it was, I guess in some ways very strange the way he battled with his weight. And, I think, it was a joke to the outside world. But for him, it was not. It was not a joke, and it was not funny. And, he would never weigh in, in the locker room. You have mandatory weigh-ins every week. He wouldn't weigh in when anyone else was around. He'd cover the scale. That was a real battle for him. And obviously, didn't go away after football.
I think what was disappointing to me, and Willie was with the team on the road, and I was sitting in here with D-Mace. We were playing Ryan Tannehill's press conference. First time he had spoke since January 22nd. And I think what was disappointing is somebody at his age and experience and the money that he makes, the position that he plays, just has got to be savvier. I expect more from him, especially with the Titans always Mike Vrabel and John Robinson always talking about how great a leader he is and always propping him up. And I expect more from a guy that's been around the block, okay? He's not a first or second year guy. And Derek knows, and I said it on the air afterwards, but I said it to him off the air when it happened. I said, well, that's going to be headlines. You can count on that. And I said it coming out of the break afterwards. You can just count on it, folks. This is going to make headlines, whatever you think about it. And I think that's what really, really I guess anger, disappointed, I don't know the emotions, but he should be better than that.
Yeah, listen, here's what I'd say is that easily could have been a press conference and kind of reentry into the off-season program that was a complete non-issue, not noticed, certainly not a national story. I was on NFL Live that week. We talked about it on SportsCenter, all of that stuff. If I could have given him some advice, prior to that, his answers for just about everything would have been very different. I'm just being real. I like him personally. I think he's a good player. I think he's kind of been unfairly criticized for, how things have gone, since that Cincinnati game. And so, all of those things can be true, and you can say, listen, I wish I could, said to him, look, Malik Willis is not a threat to you. He's not. The money Ryan's making, the experience he has, and the type of prospect that Malik Willis is getting drafted in the third round, he's not a threat. In some ways, the better answer for that would have been, look, I'm excited that we added competition at the position, especially a young athletic guy. Maybe there's ways we can use him that could help us. I know he's going to push us in the weight room and in our individual drills. I'm excited that we had a player that John Robinson and Mike Vrabel think make us a better football team, and I'm eager to work with him. Boom. If you say that, it's what are people going to say? You know what I mean? Then people are going to say, hey, do you envision a package for him? And they're going to be like, whoa. Ryan Tannehill's our starter. That's such an easy way to answer that, And then in terms of, not being there for the off-season program and things like that, okay, we don't need all the details on what you were and you weren't doing. The reality is look, I'm 33 years old. I've got a couple kids. It's a long season. I've been working out. I just made a decision this year that I was going to take an extra 4 weeks before I came up here fully energized to work out with my teammates. I'm excited to be here. And everybody kind of knew what my plan was, and I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page. Boom. End of story. like those things, I just feel like it's easy to answer those. And, unfortunately, that's not how the stuff came across. And I think in some ways he made the Malik Willis drafting become a bigger deal than it actually was.
You're right about that, Tim. He actually did by his comments. We'll talk with Tim Hasselback, ESPN, discussing the Tennessee Titans. I thought his answers, I didn't care for the answers, but I almost thought it was coming from a place of, and we see it sometimes with athletes when they get frustrated. They truly say what's on their heart out of frustration. Mm-hmm. And I thought his answers, which was the truth, it came out, but I think a lot of it, I think it was out of frustration that, he feels that he's getting blamed too much for the situation, that he's getting blamed that he's not here, that everyone's piling on him. And he just saw the acquisition or the drafting of Malik Willis. He saw that as another, they're putting this on me again, and they're trying to replace me. And his frustrations came out, and I think there was a message there directly at the Tennessee Titans. Like, listen, y'all do what y'all want to, and I'm going to do what I want to. That's why his answers were as such. Hey, listen, I was at home with my family renovating. You don't say that when you're not frustrated. You find a better way at getting your message across.
D-Mace, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of, frustration and, kind of the reaction to the frustration with all of that stuff. And the thing that I would say is, like, that can be true, mm-hmm. and you can feel that way. And I think this is part of what Darren is saying is like, that stinks. Like here, let's just look at this here. And we've talked about this, and I've said this to you. I think that there's been an overboard reaction to how the Cincinnati game went. I feel like, listen, the offense played poorly. He threw 3 interceptions, and he is receiving much of the criticism and blame for the loss in that football game, okay? And he knows that. He heard it immediately. He leaves town, and, there's kind of never been any type of healing like, okay, hey, we're over it, right? He's not the only guy on the team that made a mistake in that game, right? And so when you come back to talk about, the dark place you're in and voice some of the frustration and all of that stuff, I just – I think ultimately, it made it worse. And I would just use this, and I hesitate to do this sometimes just because, I know it well, and so I do it. But I don't know that anyone always loves to hear me say this. Think about this for my brother. My brother's the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. He's playing his former team in a wild card game. They go into overtime. And he's on a mic saying, we want the ball and we're going to score it, and throws an interception that gets run back for a touchdown and ends the game. Okay? What did he do? What did he experience in Seattle, do you think?
Criticism. Yeah. Probably they didn't throw a party.
Hey, we're still hearing about it, whatever it is, 20 years later. Like they wanted to run him out of there as much as anyone can want to be any fan base can want to run somebody out of a city. And what did he do? You know what he did? He became as visible as possible. And he was everywhere. And it was and that was part of the healing. And ultimately, a couple of years later, he takes that team to a Super Bowl.
Guess who's not doing that here?
Yeah, and listen, I'm just, I'm saying, we've touched on it. That's, when this happens, it is the healing of how a guy has played on the field and the fan base feels about him doesn't happen solely with how the guy plays on the field, because sometimes perception does not match reality. That's just the case. And I think that he has played way better than the perception. But unfortunately, because of the ending and the timing and then not being around and now press conference and being away and Instagram post, whatever, Like now it's just the water is boiling.
I think that's a well put. I agree with all of that. I would throw this out there, Tim, as we talked to Tim Hasselbeck. I think what I said in the aftermath was that was a 17-minute plus press conference. Had he done some more things along the way, been more visible along the way, that press conference doesn't end up happening that way. But I tried to give him some slack in that because he sort of let it go, he put it off until then. Answering questions for 17 minutes is not easy, and he stepped in it the one time. That one phrase is the one that I'm sure he would like to have back if he could do it all over again, especially if he knew what was going to happen after he said it. So that's where I try. 17-minute press conferences are pretty rare, right? Usually it's a series of 5 or 6 minute ones for a quarterback. That was extra long, and I don't know if he was fatigued or whatever, but to me that contributed to what happened.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think it is kind of noble and to kind of to give time to the local media that hasn't had a chance, national media that hasn't had a chance to talk to you since that moment. So yeah, I don't think there's any doubt, and I think there was more than one comment that probably was enough to make a headline. I feel this way too, and I think a lot of people get into this, and I'm sure that you guys had the debate about, and Darren asked about it when I came on about, mentoring someone and helping them. Like, here's what I truly believe. I think it's important to have a good quarterback room, plain and simple. I think if you want a good team, you need to have a good quarterback room. You have to have guys that are supporting each other. At the same time, they're pushing each other and trying to make each other better. And not every dynamic's going to be the same because sometimes you have a quarterback that, may eventually be the replacement. Sometimes the backup's a guy that is a clear backup and is never a threat to the starter. And so not every relationship is going to be the same in those quarterback rooms. But I think it's important to have a good supportive quarterback room because ultimately what happens, and we see it every year, is somebody's going to be called on. Doesn't matter if it was Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers had a COVID issue. It doesn't matter if it's, a separated shoulder and so, somebody's got to come in and play. When you support the guy that's a starter, then you will get support in return when you become the guy and vice versa. And I just feel like that's what teams do. It's less solely about you and more about the collective effort and group. I think that's important. Now, that is different than saying, hey, listen, I'm going to call this guy to make sure he wakes up early to show up on time to watch film before everyone else gets here. Like, that's different. You're not holding someone's hand. You're not their personal trainer. But what you can do as a mentor is just do things the right way. Like, look, when I was around Coy Detmer, and I was like, look, I'm watching this guy just do things the right way. The way he took notes, the way he paid attention in meetings, the way he talked to his teammates. Like that to me, like he's mentoring me by doing that without realizing he's mentoring me. He's just doing a good job at doing his job. And if you are a good teammate, you're going to pay attention to the guys that do a good job doing their job. And so, look, like if there's a young, Ravens receiver that gets there and Derek Mason is in his 9th year at that point, like you better pay attention. Like watch how he finishes. Watch the way he cares about taking care of his body after practice. Like that's mentoring without Derek saying, hey, listen, I'm going to be a mentor to this guy and do everything I can to make sure he takes my job. Like those aren't the same things. And I think sometimes like we get it confused, and I think players just need to do a better job of understanding what it is and answering that question.
On the way out, can you confirm that Tom Brady, when he's done, is going to have a bigger contract than your contract at ESPN? Can you confirm that?
Listen, I can't. I can't. He's been known to take, a little bit less than market value.
Not anymore.
Like if they were saying it's like 37.5, then like, listen, guys, 37.5 is less than 38. Okay. And I'm not saying I know anybody that's making 38 a year, but I just throw that out there just for math.
Tim, good stuff as always.
Hey, let me know, by the way, when you run through the list of Michigan State receivers and think about the guy that I possibly could have been referring to.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I've got a really good idea. I've got a really good idea.
Let me know. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard. I have to choose between like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Pittsburgh is PPG Paints Arena, right?
You guys are breaking up. I'm in the West.
Tim, good stuff. Have a great week.
See you, boys.
Tim Hasselbeck will come back. A.J. Brown tweeted out yesterday afternoon. Oh, boy. We'll discuss next.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year 1?
Wake up and hang out with Robby and Rexrode. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
It's watching the top players take the ice. It's hard-fought games that end in victory. It's showing your favorite team to your favorite people. Secure your seats for the 2022-23 Nashville Predators season today to ensure you never miss a game at Bridgestone Arena. Plus, enjoy Nashville locker room discounts, exclusive presale offers, and more. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. Join the Loyal Legion today and paint the town Preds. That's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. NashvillePredators.com/season tickets.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
Well, it's very easy to use. From the login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Dell Technologies wants to celebrate all your hard work with these Small Business Month specials. Get great value offers on powerful laptops, desktops, and servers with Windows 11 Pro starting at $499, plus top monitors and docks, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. It's the perfect time to upgrade so you and your team can stay secure from anywhere. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL to refresh your business tech with these Small Business Month specials. Dell recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
For the first time in their history, the Predators have been swept in a playoff series.
The Predators season has come to an end after being swept by Colorado in the first round.
You work 82 games to be able to get in the playoffs, and, unfortunately this series didn't go the way that, we wanted it to go.
What steps do they need to take in the offseason?
Offensively, you got to find a second line. You have a line that you can put together.
We'll continue the coverage on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
You can watch us streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook every single day. Our video streaming is brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Back here on the DDC, our show is presented by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. It's hot outside. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Are you getting cold air? You need it today. You need it today.
It's not a good time for your air conditioner to break.
No.
This next couple of days, it's going to be
hot in here. Good stuff from Tim Hasselback. Chris Mason coming up at 1 o'clock. A.J. Brown tweeted after our show yesterday. Not to our show, but he just tweeted out there in the Twitter world. Before you all get in your feelings, I'm just reading this word for word. Before you all get in your feelings, comma, my team is trying to get your very own Derek to run the camp. I didn't cancel the camp. I just got someone that you all want to see. Take care. And then he later deleted it. So he does a camp for kids. He's now shifted it to Philadelphia. But guess what? There's a camp that he's been doing here that people have signed up for, and I'm sure that's what he was addressing because people were asking, "Are you still doing your camp?" And to me, there's just again so many wrong things. I just if this is what A.J. Brown is going to be moving forward, I just hate to break it to him. He's going to get eaten up in Philadelphia. I mean, they are literally going to chew him up and spit him out because he just can't make up his mind when he wants to say, here's the thing, here's the right thing to do, because that was kind of like one again, like he does with all his, like, okay, what are you ashamed of? What did you delete it for? Why? What's wrong?
Yeah,
what's wrong with it?
Nothing was wrong with it.
Well, I mean, he's basically like, you guys don't care. Y'all don't care about me anymore, so I'll get Derrick Henry because you care about him.
Who is y'all?
Care about me. I don't know. I guess he's broad brushing that everybody. By the way, if they signed up for your camp, they do care about you.
Exactly.
They actually do because they signed up for your camp. But it was like I'll get somebody you want to see. I know you don't want to see me anymore. And it's like, again, it's the old hurt feelings. I'm innocent. This is not my fault. I'm surprised he didn't tweet that. Hey, everybody who signed up for my camp, this is not my fault. Well, here's the idea. You're in the off season. How about you come back and do your damn camp?
Yeah,
how about that?
It's like he's playing. It's like, dude, you're playing a victim, and you have no reason to play the victim here. You know, you got your money.
You got what you wanted.
You got exactly what you wanted. Now, don't make it seem as if whoever y'all is, it's almost like he's directing it toward the little kids at the camp. In a sense, like, send somebody y'all want to see. It's like these little kids want to see you. They don't care if you got traded. They don't care if you got traded. They want to see, it's your camp. They want to see you. And if you are available to do it, if you don't have any other obligations in Philadelphia, meaning camp, actual camp for your team, then you should be here doing it.
Why are you looking for somebody
There's no
else?
excuse.
Why?
Exactly.
Kevin Carter just did his last, I think this year was his last event.
Yeah.
He just did it last month. I think it was
How many years he's been retired?
I don't know. He's been doing it, 15 years? Here, I think this was the last year. He's been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't live here. He's been out of football for a long time.
He doesn't live here. He doesn't spend money here. He doesn't pay taxes here.
He went somewhere else after here, too.
Exactly.
He played after the Titans. And he's still been here's the idea. Isn't this about the kids?
That's what I thought.
This is about a professional football player putting on a football camp for kids, for youth.
Yeah. I, as a guy that has done, first of all, participated in all kinds of camps, and I have all kinds of great memories as a kid going to camp after camp, and somebody who turned around and ran a lot of camps. Darren, you've helped me with some of the camps. You've been a coach, Coach McFarland. Can you believe that, Darren? But
it's what got the coaching
kids,
juices flowing.
Yeah.
Willie's camps.
I feel like I was sort of the building blocks to his managerial career now on the baseball field.
Managerial career.
But I think the experience that the kids will walk away from will have nothing to do with A.J. Brown was on the Titans or on the Eagles at the time. They're going to walk away from the experience they have there. If they have a great time and A.J. Brown was there, they're going to love A.J. Brown, and they're going to root for him when he plays for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
And they're going to say, man, what a great guy. And this guy put on a great camp, and I got a chance to be a part of it. I'll never forget that. So
those kids
at the
don't
very,
care
very,
he got traded.
So they don't care at all.
They don't care.
And the parents don't either, I'll
No,
bet you.
they don't. They don't.
Because A.J. Brown's been nice enough to put this
They're
on.
still going to go.
Yes. So I hope he thinks about that. And at the very least, you make sure that camp is covered. If that's what he's implying, that he's going to get somebody else to do it, then you apologize to the kid. There's a way to do that too. But I would hope that he would make every effort to cover that camp himself. They'll love him for it. I mean, this is, like you said, business is business.
Exactly.
Right? I'm hoping you're doing this because you really do want to get through to the kids and make a positive impact, even just for 1 day or 2 days, however long the camp is.
Josh from White House on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, says, "Are we absolutely sure AJ and AB aren't related?" I'm not ready to throw him in the Antonio Brown.
He's got a long way to go.
Yeah,
he's got a long way to go for that.
I'm starting to raise a lot of eyebrows. And I have two, so I don't know really how many more I could raise. So other than that, but his actions are really perplexing. Like, it just continues to be like, is this a sign? Is this a sign of things to come? And I get it. It's not the Titans' problem anymore. But
it's another example
goodness.
of why we live in our lives on the social media. That this needs to be taken care of behind the scenes. You talk to people. You do the right thing. You communicate with the people that are helping you organize this. And you take care of it there. There's no need
why
to
tweet
about
that
it.
out and then why delete it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he is just in this pattern of putting something out there and then deleting it.
His tweet should have been, "Hey, kids, it doesn't matter that I'm gone. The camp is still on, and I will be there." That's it.
Pretty cut and dry, isn't it?
That's pretty cut and dry. That's what it should have been.
But again, he is choosing to play this whole victim thing. It's not my fault, Tennessee. It's not my fault. No. When I said the very next day, it is your fault. Don't play innocent. You got paid.
Yeah.
You got what you wanted. Fine. Move on and don't play victim. Don't be innocent. You're not innocent in this. But then again, why play? I almost like playing. I'll get somebody you guys care about. Oh, AJ, newsflash. They don't care that you don't play here anymore. All they care about is that they're going to a football camp hosted by you. Exactly. That's what their parents signed up for. The parents don't care. The kids don't care. Why would you not, in your off season, just still put on the camp and be done with it? Doesn't mean you have to continue. Other athletes do, but you don't have to. You're not obligated. But how about you're obligated to put on the camp that people have already signed up for?
Exactly.
And they didn't realize you're going to get traded, and you didn't realize you're going to get traded, but you have an obligation now to do the camp. Do the camp. And if you just do it this year and that's it, then so be it. You can continue, but you don't have to. I get it. He only spent 3 years here. He doesn't have to. It's already shifted to Philadelphia. I'm sure you'll just continue on in the market that you're playing in. But in this particular case, do your camp. Do it. Derrick Henry would be great, yes. But why ask Derrick Henry to do that? It's your camp.
Exactly.
How about you come on and put on your camp? It's A.J. Brown's camp. People signed up for your football camp. It's not a hard decision. Worry is not the right word because, again, this is not the Titans' problem anymore, and we probably won't talk a ton about A.J. Brown now that he's moved on to the NFC. But, Derek, I ask you, is this like a real serious pattern developing that's disturbing? That it's going down the wrong path?
It's disturbing. Again, the only reason you shouldn't do the camp is if, you have camp with the Philadelphia Eagles that you have to be at. Other than that, I don't see no other reason you shouldn't still do the camp and you shouldn't be there. I don't. So, but that's just me. So
one way or the other, you got to make it right. Either you switch the date to the camp, you find somebody who you think is worthy to cover the camp. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm hoping he's doing that.
Oh, snap. Bringing
the
food.
suit. The suit.
Bringing
Coming through. Oh, man. Time for a break.
Ooh.
Time to take a break.
Plural breaks.
Oh, man. But, yeah, that's just I don't understand it.
Is he still doing his baseball camp?
I don't know what the hell he's doing. But my advice to him and his representative, if a few of them are still here in Nashville, he needs to do the camp. Because these kids signed up to see A.J. Brown. They don't care if he got traded, in the sense of him, being at the camp. But it's not a good look when you put out this email, this text and say, y'all don't care about me no more. Again, who is y'all?
Well,
are you talking about these kids?
He didn't specifically say that. I mean, he's basically saying,
I'm going to get somebody
you guys want to see.
Yeah,
right?
y'all want to see. AJ, the y'all that you're referring to are those kids, and they want to see you, man. They want you to be at the camp. It's great that Derrick Henry might be there. It's great that Traylon Burks might be there. It's great that, I don't know, name somebody else.
He's going to get Traylon Burks. That's just a hunch.
Just somebody else. But they want to see you. Those kids want to see you, man. That's all that matters. Don't take your frustration out. Don't take the frustration that you have with the Titans out on these kids.
I don't know what his frustration is. He got what he wanted.
Darren,
he wanted to get paid. He got paid.
I agree with you.
Right? I mean, he got paid.
I agree with you.
That's why I said, dude, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
So, okay, enough playing victim. Like, you got what you wanted. I get it. You wanted it to be here, but the Titans weren't willing to pay you $25 million a year, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't either.
No, but you got your money.
Got it. I don't begrudge you. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I do. I wish I got paid $25 million a year, but I don't. Okay, you got what you wanted. That's okay. That's your right.
But I'm pretty sure if he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles and say, hey, listen, I had this camp planned for this day. Can I, at least make one of these days of the camp? Because it was already planned. I didn't foresee me getting traded.
When's the next time everybody gets together? June, right?
Yeah, when is the camp?
Second or third week of June?
Yeah, I don't know when his camp is.
No, I'm saying like the NFL, like the Titans' next get-together, right, as a team. Isn't it like the third week of June?
It's in June sometime.
And then it'll be like the last time before training camp, right?
So Philadelphia's would be the same time.
Wouldn't it be somewhere in the same time frame? And I don't know when his.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
when is the actual camp?
I don't know.
His camp. So
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's just to me again, it's a bad look.
I doubt it's during. I mean, they know the schedule, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're going to schedule a camp, I mean, you would know when you're working, and typically everybody's going to get it. So it's probably not going to be in the window when you have to have OTAs.
Exactly. No, you're right. That's why I say again, it's like take your whatever frustrations you have with the Tennessee Titans or frustrations you have with, anybody that was giving sort of a different, that was basically, describing the things that you were doing and were scratching their heads. Don't take it out on the kids. You may be upset at the Titans. You may be upset. Hell, you may be upset at this show. You may not like us as radio host personalities because of some of the things we've commented on because of some of the things you did. But don't take it out on these kids that are planning on seeing you at camps that, man, I get to get A.J. Brown's autograph. I get to be at his camp.
Go be better than your former quarterback and go mentor these kids.
Yeah, do something. Do something, man. I'm just saying that just doesn't. That's not cool because if I was a parent, and I had a kid at camp
be disappointing.
I'll be very
Especially
disappointed
if he does it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just disappointing. I hope he gets it. I don't. I've just got. This.
I hope he erased it because somebody said, "Well, no, you can do the cake."
I know, but the problem is like everybody is he's getting told. Apparently, he's constantly getting told something after he tweets because he keeps deleting everything. Like AJ, what? Like, is he getting the constant? AJ, what are you doing?
How many times I got to tell you?
What are we doing here? Are we doing this again? Delete that.
I don't get it, man. I just don't.
Or is it just him? I don't know. Maybe he's
could be just him.
I don't know. Chris Mason coming up to begin the final hour of the program. Right now, I want to talk to you about my friends at Cool Springs, MD. You know, you've heard me talk about them for years because they've been helping me become healthier and happier for years. And I'll be a lot happier whenever I eat what the suit brought in during the break. I'm also happier when I go to Cool Springs, MD. And speaking of that, if maybe with these warm temperatures, you tacked on some unwanted pounds that you would love to shed, well, they got programs and products and people that can get you back on track and headed in the right direction. Rejuvenation, your appearance is important, but boy, does it get tougher as we get older. Well, their experienced staff can sit down and talk to you about PRP, hair removal, Botox, and finally hormone therapy. If you had your levels checked, you realize that they tend to go down as you get older. That can affect your mood. It can affect your drive. It can affect your energy. Something like that's going on. Discuss BHRT with them, testosterone, estrogen. These are some of the things they do under that state-of-the-art facility in Cool Springs at 1642 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can always pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or a consultation by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture, eat strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Tennessee has always been a state of pioneers. Hardworking folks just trying to find simple ways to protect their families, which is why so many Tennesseans trust us. Need individual plans including dental and vision? Or you're a small business owner and want family coverage? No problem. Just click fbhp.com, call us, or visit one of our many offices. Farm Bureau Health Plans, protecting Tennesseans since 1947.
Attention, buckaroos! It's time for the Franklin Rodeo, so saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede from May 19th to May 21st. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Franklin Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Williamson Medical Center, Wesley Mortgage, and Event 1FX. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, May 11th, we're doing something special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is unprecedented and worth $650. Call today, Wednesday, and qualify free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Nashville is growing, and so are we. The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officer trainees. Starting pay is $38,300. After 8 weeks paid training, earn $41,767. Come join our team and ask about our new paid job shadowing program. Join the best in correction. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. That's 615-862-8170. The Nashville Sheriff, we're more than corrections.
1 week only. Electronic Express has massive sales on overstock, open box, demos, and scratch and dent products in every department. 4K TVs, appliances, computers, housewares, smart home, and more. We have deals on all of your appliances and electronics needs. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. Find a store near you at electronicexpress.com. Locally owned and operated. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down. Ooh.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robby and Rexrode. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Sorry for the delay.
My goodness.
We like this song.
It's a great song. But, man, this thing. This microphone, man. My shoulder's getting tired because I got to hold up the mic, man. This thing.
Man, it keeps dropping.
Anybody got like a shoestring or
they might just
pair
keep
of pliers
falling
or something, a wrench, a Phillips screwdriver here?
I'm not going to say what I told you guys during the break what the studio was like.
You can't get it to stay up, so
I got to hold it up the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
We also, the suit came in, hooked us up, and my mouth right now is still, it's just like,
it's a little hot.
Whatever you just
in here. We got Hattie B's.
Whatever you just put in here, man, that was something. That was good.
I was watching Dumb and Dumber the other night, and I feel like I could use that mustard and ketchup. Squeezable bottles right now. Let's go to Matthew on our phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai.com. Let's let him talk because we let you talk on this show. Matthew, what's up?
Well, I wanted to try to bring a voice of reason to the group. Felt like we've heard a lot of crazy callers wanting to fire everybody. Bunch of UT fans, it sounds like, where they enjoy that revolving door at the head coaching position. I thought it was I just wanted to.
By the way, we'll get blame. We'll get blamed for that comment, Matthew. We'll get blamed for that we said it.
I had a question, and then I wanted to make a comment about the season. I'll hang up and listen. The comment about the season. I mean, I thought it was a great season. It was an overperforming season. Sure, there are a couple of holes for the off season, but I think that the management and the coaching staff overachieved. And sure, there's a big off season ahead of the Predators where they need to fill some gaps in a defenseman, maybe another scorer. And but the story is still yet to be told from the management. I think the pass or fail should be viewed at from the off-season signings and did they re-sign Forsberg? If Forsberg isn't re-signed, then I think that should be viewed as a huge fail, and then some people should be held accountable. But as it stands right now, I don't see how anybody could see it any other way other than overachieving. The question I had was related to, we've heard a lot about salary cap. How does the Shea Weber situation, I never did hear the final on that. How does the Shea Weber situation play into that? Is he going to be counted against our cap? Or
as of now, no.
No.
As of now, no. As long as he does what I want to say, there's probably 24 other players in the league that have his situation under contract but not healthy enough to play.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to be on long-term IR.
Matthew, he's doing a huge service to this market. Huge. Because I don't think anybody believes he's going to play again. And he could easily retire, but he's not retired.
Right. And that it could happen someday. In theory, it could happen, and then that would.
How many more years are left? Do you know?
There's a lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was like 25. Is that right?
25 years?
No. I think the hot chicken's getting to you. Dude, 2025.
It's not that long. I think it goes beyond that.
Really?
I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It was a 15-year deal. It was a 15-year offer.
Okay, well, he's been gone for.
It's been at least.
Well, I guess Suter's been
7.
gone 10 years, so.
It's been what?
8?
6, 7.
It was the summer of 2012.
Was it after the
2012 offseason?
It was after the losing to Game 7 of the Sharks.
No, that's not when he signed the offer sheet. He signed it in 2012.
Oh, signed the offer sheet. That's right. Yes, correct.
So the summer of 2012 is the offer sheet. So that contract, I think, was 15 years. So that's 2027.
Okay.
I think. So there's still a long way to go.
Good Lord. It's a contract.
So you have to be aware, Matthew, that's still out there. But, Marian Hossa, I think, just reached the end of that whatever thing that he just signed, right? And they never were penalized for that. Chris Pronger, that was a running joke for a long, long time. So I don't know. I think the only one that I know of, I think Vancouver did get penalized some for Roberto Luongo, who had one of those enormous long-term deals and did retire with a couple years left. So I think it's to be determined, but right now I think the hope is that especially because they didn't sign him to that offer sheet. It was the Flyers that did that. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, it's the Predators that have to deal with it going forward.
Matthew, you get the last word. Just so you know, you've hit 4 minutes on the air with us on this show. So you get the last word.
He asked good questions.
He's been on the air for 4 minutes.
He made good points. He asked good questions.
Awesome. Well, I'll just leave this with a lasting comment. Willie and C-Mace, really enjoy the season and the calls on the air. Having to watch some of the during the playoffs, not being able to see you guys on a couple of the broadcasts just from me being out of town and everything. It was missed, and really enjoyed the season and getting an opportunity to have you guys. You guys are an A+ group.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And
4 minutes and 45 seconds. Thank you for the call.
He made some good points. It is a little bit to be determined, right? Because first, you got to address the Forsberg. Second, you have to, the whole reason that you free up cap space is that you can have the flexibility to go improve the roster. Mm-hmm. And so that was step one. That's where they were getting to the point where they were stuck in 2020 in the bubble, and they had Turris, and they had Bonino, and they had Arvidsson and Ellis, and they had a lot of contracts for aging players who were clogging up the flexibility. Craig Smith is another guy I didn't mention, Darren, on that first one. That's another one. Mm-hmm. Not that he was done, not that Victor Arvidsson was done or Ryan Ellis, but if you have a veteran-laden team, which they did, they were trying to win it, and you come to the conclusion that, look, this window is closing. Pekka Rinne is getting older. We've got to get younger. It's hard to just snap your fingers and do it overnight. So systematically over 2 off seasons, they have gotten younger, and they've freed up cap space. So that's been the plan. To me, that's a very logical way of doing it. The alternative was just to let all of those guys age, and you'd have the same exact team you had a couple years ago. And
well, you knew there were going to be changes after nothing was done the offseason when David Poile decided to just
that was after 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
you knew changes were going to happen.
Right, and they did come back and win the division.
They did
the next year.
They did.
So but by the end of the season, they didn't have the great feel, and they got beat by the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they started the changes by trading P.K. Subban and bringing in Matt Duchene. But unfortunately, that didn't really fix the same kind of vibe that was out there, and that meant a coaching change.
Yep. We'll come back, begin the final hour with Chris Mason. We do that every Wednesday at 1 o'clock throughout the course of the season. So this will be our last installment of CMACE for this season. We'll do that next here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
From elegant to contemporary, Social Furniture has it all. And right now, get no interest financing on any purchase through Memorial Day. Save hundreds, even thousands on top brand name bedroom suites, living room and dining sets. Thousands of combinations in stock, ready for immediate delivery. All colors and styles are designer brand names, such as Woodhouse, Sealy, Serta, Kincaid, Bernhardt, Stearns & Foster, and Bassett. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture opens 7 days a week on the west side on Charlotte Avenue in the Richland Creek Shopping Center.
I come from a military family.
That's Stasha at Genesis Diamonds talking about the Hero Rewards program at Genesis, providing special discounts every day for heroes in uniform.
Whatever their budget is, we're going to make sure it stretches the best for them and that they will get the most beautiful ring at the best value.
Special hero pricing on any item extends to all military plus police, fire, and first responders.
They make us have the great life we have, and we are eternally grateful for that.
Genesis Hero Rewards program and free services is yours for life, no matter where you move.
Travel anywhere in the world, we're one phone call away. So no matter where you're stationed, if you're military or if you're a police officer and you go to another state, we're going to take good care of you.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that Genesis owner Boaz Ramon is himself a veteran of the Israeli Army.
Boaz, having served in the military, appreciates the military and what they do for us.
Genesis Diamonds, where our heroes in uniform get red carpet pricing and white glove treatment every day of the year.
Because they're there for us.
Genesis Diamonds and pre-owned Rolexes, continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
I can walk again. I can cross my legs again. I can wear heels again.
After years of living with chronic joint pain, Andrea Southard is now living a normal life, pain-free, thanks to natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics.
We tried everything, and my husband had heard the commercial for QC Kinetics on the radio, and he told me to call him and check it out.
That phone call changed Andrea's life. QC Kinetics used powerful natural biologics to treat her aching joints. It's high-tech precision medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue with no surgery and no drugs, providing lasting relief.
I felt like I was in my 20s again. I could tie my own shoes. Really the little things that you don't think about.
Pain in your hips, knees, back, shoulders? Get rid of the pain now. Call QC Kinetics.
615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's Debt Consolidation Home Refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm active duty, so I'm figuring out my options while I'm stationed here.
Hey, Kevin. Navy Federal Credit Union is celebrating Military Appreciation Month, so you called the right place.
Guess you could say it's like a match made for Kevin. Get it?
Very good.
At Navy Federal, our mission has been to help the military community for over 85 years. During Military Appreciation Month, we're celebrating the commitment that connects us. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/celebrate. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
It's time! And a shot broken up in front. And what a slick backhand try right in front of Chris Mason. And now the quick pass down the middle, breaking in, and a backhand stop by Chris Mason. And Marlowe with a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, and what a stop by Mason. Cheechoo right in front, and what a stop on Ekman by Mason. And goal, number 3, Chris Mason.
We are final hour at DDC. Chris Mason brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealer. C. Mace now joins us. He's a half of the television crew. It's Willie and Mace on Bally Sports. Chris, your final thoughts on the series that ended, unfortunately, Monday night.
I think like everybody, obviously it's disappointing, but, not completely surprising. I just think, my biggest takeaway was I felt down the stretch. I felt like I could see them just getting tired, not having the same, the way that they had to play for 2 months down the stretch. And I just didn't see the extra gear. And I felt Colorado, they were able to coast down the stretch. They were a lock since, basically the January. To wrap up the Central Division. I know Calgary was in the mix there for a little bit, but they were able to get to the gear. They're a better team. They're deeper. They have superstar power, and I would have obviously, like all of us, like to see them get a win or two in the series, but it wasn't that surprising to see how that went, and they just unfortunately didn't get to play Calgary, which I thought would have been a lot different. No guarantees there either, but it would have been a much better matchup for them, and they lost to a better team.
I know you see all the chatter just like we do, and you talk to the fans just like we do. A lot of people questioned, and it's pretty typical. This is how it works. Same thing happened with Derrick Henry when he got the Jones fracture. See, last year crushed him. This wouldn't have happened if he didn't have that workload. UC's workload. Are you okay with that moving forward? Do you think it's something, did the injury play a part in that? Do you think it's something that needs to be discussed in the offseason? What side of the fence are you on that maybe his workload this season contributed to his injury?
I don't think so. I really think, the way this season played out, I thought there was plenty of opportunity for rest. Obviously, February was a big month for that, the COVID. He was sick for a couple weeks there, non-COVID. So he got enough time off. But, to me, at the end of the day, I thought down the stretch they got Riddick in there enough, and they were kind of managing that well. I don't see any issue with the workload that he had this season because of the amount of breaks it got. And what are you going to do? You're trying to get in the playoffs. If you don't play Saros as much as you did this season, you're not getting in. So I thought they did a good job of balancing that. And I thought there was times when they would have played Saros just because of the situation, and they went with Riddick. So I thought, in my opinion, you had to do what you had to do. It's not like they were in a situation where they could, give him extra rest. And I thought the way the schedule played out, there was enough, breaks in the season to get him enough rest, throughout the season. So I was completely fine with it. Moving forward, maybe different situation if it's back to a normal regular season schedule. And obviously, when there's the Olympic situation, and then you have games added onto that got canceled. I mean, it was absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts how many games all the teams had to play going down the stretch of the season. So I don't think that factored into his injury. It's kind of a fluke thing, but I was good with the way they handled the workload for him this year.
Do you think Connor Ingram has earned the backup role next season?
Yeah, I do. I think he was going to be taken into consideration. I think that's kind of what they want, the progression they wanted to happen. And, it's been a great story. They saw something in him, obviously former second-round pick. Didn't work out in Tampa. They kind of cast him off, and, they saw Ben Vanderklok and the staff saw something, with his potential. And I feel the way that he came in and what he's shown this year, how he's conducted himself in Milwaukee, obviously getting thrown into the wolves there against the Avalanche. I thought he handled himself. We'll have to see what they do here in the offseason, but I definitely think he's earned a shot at that spot.
See, Mace, we've gotten a lot of calls from our listeners and, avid Predator fans and diehard Predator fans. And it seems like the sentiment of a lot of them is, what's the direction of the team? We want to hear the message of the team. And, Willie has explained along with Darren, this is the message, but we understand why they are saying that because they're hearing it from the same person each and every time. What would you say to those fans, those diehard fans that are saying, hey, listen, what is the direction of the team? What's the message? We want to hear from someone else. What would you say to them?
Well, I love, this is the one thing, and I know that you guys deal with this all the time, is I love that people care and there's passion about this team and they love this team and they want them to win. But, at the same time, you have to be realistic. And sometimes people accuse us of being homers on the broadcast. But I look at it from a different perspective. I look at the long game, the situation where this is one of the youngest teams in the National Hockey League, one of the lower payroll teams in the National Hockey League, and they're setting themselves up, to grow into success, and they're building something. And I was one of the people at the beginning of the season. I honestly didn't think that they would make the playoffs. I just didn't think they had enough offense. I thought their defense was going to be thin because, they get rid of Ryan Ellis and obviously PK Subban, and, they had one of the best top fours in the National Hockey League. And, you get rid of those two guys and it thins out in a hurry. And, how's Fabro going to develop? How's Carey going to develop? All this kind of stuff. And UC's first season, I wasn't really worried about him, but you never know what the mental toll it takes when a guy finally gets the reins and there's no security blanket on the bench with Pekka Rinne being there, and he was obviously no problem, but I just didn't think that they were going to have enough offense and be able to score goals. Victor Arvidsson gone, Kalle Järnkrok gone, all those types of things. Those are big-time players. So when you look at the storylines this year, you look at the resurgence of Johansson, Duchesne, Forsberg were the big ones. You look at the rapid development of Tanner Jeannot, Alex Carrier as a top four defenseman, Yakov Trenin, Michael McCarron coming out of nowhere and showing that he can be a big time effective player in the National Hockey League. I really do feel that once the burn of and the hurt of losing out and getting swept in that fashion, that if you look at this team, people are calling for John Hines' head, and I honestly think he's a Jack Adams. I voted for him as a Jack Adams finalist because of what he did with this team. People always want to blame the coach for failures and then, give all the accolades to the players for the successes. But he got these guys to believe. Obviously, at the end of the day, the players are the ones that have to go out there and do it. But if you hear this team talk about this group and how close they were and how hard they worked for each other, and, every single night, whether they got blown out of the water in that first game against Colorado or different points in the season, the St. Louis game, this team just worked their butt off. They never quit. And to me, that's the culture that, the coaching staff brings, and then the players have to buy in and the leadership on the group and getting the right personnel. So, I'm not a big worrier, and I look at it from, a player standpoint and from an organizational standpoint, and your fans want to win now. They've been spoiled here. I wouldn't say spoiled because, there's been years where I think, they had talented teams where I didn't think the work ethic was as good as it should have been. And we said that, we say that on air. We say it in a different way. We don't say, oh, you got to fire the coach. You got to trade this guy. You got to do this. And you got to do, it's just not realistic. That's an emotional response. And it's natural, when you're a fan and you care about the team. But I really think if you look into this team and what they did this season, you have to be realistic about it. There's no way they should have made the playoffs. The fact that they did, and there's all that outrage because they got swept, I just really think is completely unwarranted.
Chris Mason is with us. So, Mace, let's look ahead in the coming months. The team has gotten younger, as you just kind of listed some of the guys who made some great strides with the opportunities this year, and they still remained a playoff team. But the idea is to now get back up to the level to where you feel like you can compete with the elite teams like Colorado, like Carolina last year. So they've got some cap space here. What are your thoughts on how many changes and where specific spots you might be looking for to add? Because I feel like they're now to a point that they don't have several holes, but they've got a couple specific holes.
Yeah, that's a great question because, when you're looking at some of these other team situations and you're trying to evaluate the Nashville Predators, one of the things that they've done this past year is, I hear your buddy Jared Stillman in the afternoon, he's talking about, well, they got rid of Ellis. What'd they get for Ellis? What'd they get for Arvidsson? What'd they get? All this kind of stuff. Well, what they did was they freed up their cap space, so they are able to make moves moving forward. Look at Vegas. Look at some of these teams. They can't do anything. They have to sit out players at the end of the season because they haven't managed their cap. And, now I feel that, Poyle's put himself in a position where you can evaluate the roster that you had this year. You didn't do anything crazy at the deadline. You're not, tied up with a lot of, access contracts that, doesn't allow you to have that space. I mean, there's some ones that, didn't look great going into the season, but if they can repeat the season that they did this year, I mean, you're looking okay on that. So I think the biggest, if this team wants to take the next level, I really think they need another top four defenseman. Fabro, I think potentially could be that guy. I think right now he needs more of a veteran, a proven guy on the top four. And I really think second line support. I thought they tried that all year. They tried so many different combinations to get that second line to, be a scoring threat. And I just never thought that it ever was. I don't know how many guys Johansson played with this season, but it was crazy. And they're trying to, get the right combinations, move Matt Duchene down. Ideally you want to have whatever your top line is, whether it's Granlund, if they can re-sign Forsberg and Duchene, but you need somebody. You need a big player on that second line. And to me, that was one of the biggest things I think that cost them as well, is they didn't have that depth of scoring. You got a lot from the Herd, and you got some decent production on the fourth line, but the second line was just really, to me, it was the Achilles heel, all season long in terms of creating offense. They tried Tolvanen. He couldn't get it going. You tried Cunnin, Cousins. I don't think they're second line players right now. So you've got to find a way to get that scoring. You need a guy who can put the puck in the net consistently.
Good stuff as always. We really appreciate your visits every week with us. Wish we were doing it more. Wish we we're still talking about a series, but unfortunately it did come to an end. And you have a great summer, C. Mace, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, guys. Take care, and I'll be listening. So,
all right.
See you soon. Take care, boys.
Okay, Chris Mason. Every week brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealer. We'll get back into that discussion. In fact, we've had a text asking how do the Predators beef up that second line? Who can they add? All right, we'll get into all that and more. By the way, we get back into this discussion the rest of the way, so we'll take your feedback. 615-737-1025. That's our phone line and our text line, driven by Wilson County Hyundai.com. Willie, you've got a word about QC Kinetics.
All right, let's talk QC Kinetics. Don't go through another summer with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics. For that pain in your back, your knees, your shoulder, whatever joint might be bothering you, it can now be treated with the latest in precision medicine. Natural biologics, growth factors that restore and repair damaged tissue. It's exciting stuff, and it's right here in our listening area. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving you long-lasting joint pain relief with no drugs, no steroids, no downtime, no surgery. You may have heard Emmett Smith talking about QC Kinetics. He's had a great experience with them. You've read or seen other high-profile people talking about it. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is here, and they can help you get your mobility, your life back. So call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics and see if this is for you. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Mashing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
People of Tennessee, Caesars Sportsbook is giving out first bet insurance for all new users, up to $1,100. Download the app and use promo code RADIOCZR and then place your first bet. If you win, congrats. But if not, you'll get your wager back as a free bet. Must be 21 and physically present in Tennessee. New users only. Bet amount of qualifying wager returned only if wager is settled as a loss. Paid as a single bet credit. Must be used within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Summer heat is on the way. Is your air conditioner ready? Costs are rising everywhere. Groceries, gas, utilities, you name it. Is your AC old, inefficient, and cost you more than it should? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months no interest for a new York air conditioner and 6 months no interest for repairs. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. Schedule now at springhillac.com.
You love Days Delta 8 products. Now follow them on Instagram for special promotions, giveaways, contests for cash prizes, and cannabis education. Make your next Dazed purchase at any of the 3,500 nationwide stores that hold their products in Informed One. Follow Days.D8Official. That's Days.D8Official on Instagram to see this truly single-source Delta 8 brand behind the scenes. Dazed 8, the highest quality standard of Delta 8.
When looking for quality adult recreational sports in Nashville, look no further than Mid-State Sports. With over 25,000 participants, they are one of the largest sports organizations in the Southeast. Summer registration is now open for adult sports like softball, sand volleyball, soccer, flag football, kickball, and basketball. For a full list of adult sports offerings, check out midstatesports.com. It's no debate. Play Mid-State.
Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Nashville's own Big Machine Distillery wants to send you to the inaugural Tennessee Whiskey Trail Experience to celebrate International Tennessee Whiskey Day. That'll be May 21st at Nissan Stadium. Right now, text in the word whiskey. Whiskey, 615-737-1025 for a chance to win a pair of tickets to that event. The word whiskey. Do that right now. All right, let's talk about, speaking of our text line. Andrew on our text line asks, which forward is going to be a current free agent would you grab to help with second-line scoring? Good question from Andrew in Smyrna.
Funny you mentioned.
Or maybe, it doesn't say in Smyrna. Maybe his name is Andrew Smyrna. I don't know. Either way, it's a good question, Andrew.
It's a great question. I think it's the question. And there's different ways you can do it. There are ways you can trade for restricted free agents, trade for people who aren't even free agents. That's one way of doing it. But if you're simply looking at the unrestricted free agents, I was looking at this list last night. I'm going to pull it out. And one name that jumped to me, actually two, that we just saw last night. Because, look, you can go for the pie in the sky and think that somebody like Johnny Gaudreau or somebody like that, hey, look, that would be nice. The existing cap space you have might completely go away. But, look, if you could get them and you have Forsberg on your first line and Johnny Gaudreau on your second line, goodness. Now we're talking. I'm all ears if that's the case. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think Calgary is going to do everything they can, just like Nashville is with Forsberg, to keep Gaudreau. But here are a couple that I think actually might be a fit. And we just saw them. Maybe it's just because they're fresh in my mind. But what did you think of Val Nichushkin? I thought
he's pretty darn good.
He was a high
Colorado's
going to
lose.
They're going to lose. They're going to
Either
lose some guys.
Him or Kadri. They're going to lose one or both.
And
probably not both.
Andre Burakovsky is another guy.
Or Burakovsky is who maybe that's
all three of them.
All three of them. Okay.
Yeah. So Colorado is going to go
could
through.
Lose 2 of 3.
Colorado's going to go through what every team has to deal with. We saw the Blackhawks year after year have to make these tough choices. Now they've still got the studs, right? But at this point, Nathan McKinnon is not costing you the big money yet. He's up soon. They got to deal with him. He's going to make a huge amount unless he pulls a Tom Brady or something like that, which I don't think is likely to happen. So they're going to lose some of their pieces, and they're going to have to use young players, and they've got some. Like Logan O'Connor, I thought was a really good player. Obey Kubel, a couple of guys that didn't even play in the series. Alex Newhook, good-looking young player who they're going to plug in. But that means that guys like Nichushkin, Burakovsky, Kadri, those guys are going to be on the market. I really like Nichushkin myself. I think he's the kind of big, fast guy that would fit perfectly with how the Predators play. I thought he had a heck of a series. I'm really curious to see as they move forward here, because they're going to have a knockdown, drag-out in the second round, whether it's St. Louis or Minnesota. They get a tough draw. There's no comparison between who the Avalanche are going to have to play and who the winner of the Calgary-Dallas series is going to have to play. Edmonton and L.A.
could be L.A.
It could be L.A. And
that's unbelievable.
L.A. has no business beating Edmonton, but Edmonton, their flaws are coming out. They don't have a goalie that's going to shut you down. They don't have a defense that's going to shut you down. There's not a lot left over when you have a lot of money in the superstars. And those guys did a phenomenal. It was a great game last night.
Every year. Wasting away. If McDavid and Draisaitl, again,
those guys put on a show last night to bring them back, and they still didn't win.
I know. It's unbelievable.
Against a team that's very – I mean, the Kings are just scratching the surface. They've got a very young team that's going to get better.
By Duncan Keith. Horrible.
Yep.
A guy with his experience, that was a bad, bad turnover. Man, that was bad. Cost him the game.
Yep. So anyway, those are a couple names that I thought. There's a few more out there. I don't know that those are sexy names, but Val Nichushkin plays on the first line of Colorado. He's a guy that was a high first-round pick in 2013. Remember the loaded draft in 2013? That was Seth Jones. That was Nathan McKinnon. That was Alexander Barkov. I mean, just a stockpiled draft. Nichushkin played for Dallas for a long time. Never really got traction. It didn't work out. I don't know why. And then he bolted. He went back home and played in the KHL. Came back and was sort of an unheralded, unproven guy that was just out there. And he's been a great fit for Colorado. Now he's playing with some of the best in the world. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, what would he look like on a different roster? But that's just one guy that jumped out at me. I think Burakovsky's a good player. I don't know if he's really the answer. But I'm looking at guys that aren't going to break your bank, but guys who would be a solid second-round guy that might be, or a second-line guy that might be a good complementary piece. There's a few of those guys. Now, there's a lot of other ones like Bergeron, Malkin, aging guys who I don't think are going to change addresses, but they're, what are they going to do?
Kessel's
I don't know.
one.
Phil Kessel, yeah,
No.
To me, he's not a second-line player anymore.
No, I agree.
But there are others. But I think that's where creativity and cap space and flexibility and taking advantage of the fact that there are a lot of other teams that are dying to get some cap relief, that's where I think you could make a deal. And you don't need three guys, right? You need just one guy might be a big, big part of the traction, right? One impact guy could help Phil Tomasino become a second-line player. I still think Tomasino could absolutely be a top six guy.
Well, I'm going to tell you on the other side, my answer just depends. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When we come back, DDC, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegretta, voice of the Vandy Boys. Listen to the Commodore Hour every Monday at 6 p.m. during the baseball season. Kevin Ingram and I talk with Coach Corbin and special guests on ESPN 94.9 and streaming on the VU Commodores mobile app.
Hi guys, are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, May 11th, we're doing something special. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy, shown by Cambridge to repair blood vessels and get rid of ED at its core. If you're ready to put a stop to your erectile dysfunction, call us now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. And today only, we're offering 3 additional treatments to our patients free. This means that if you notice results fading, we'll retreat you free of charge. This is unprecedented and worth $650. Call today, Wednesday, and qualify free. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 615-576-5000.
Joe Rexrode here for FanDuel Sportsbook and NBA playoffs, folks. They're heating up. They're getting really good. You can make every game feel like Game 7 on FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA, because throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has a lot of ways to play. When you win, you get paid fast on a fast break. It's easy. It's safe. These playoffs, man, it's taking a bad turn for the Memphis Grizzlies. Really tough break to see Ja Morant have a bone bruise, and we're probably not going to see him again. I'll tell you what, the Warriors, Suns, that could be an epic series. I think I'm looking at the Bucks still to emerge on the other side. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code Joe102. You get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Again, promo code Joe102. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet, no sweat. Either way, $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Attention all foremen with 3 years experience. Harness LLC is your local excavation and site utilities company. We're growing and we need 5 foremen to grow with us. This is Ray Jeter with Harness LLC. Invest in a company who's going to invest in you. Go to selectharness.com to apply today. The 5 foremen we hire will receive 100% paid health coverage, vacation, and up to $6,000 sign-on bonus. Go to selectharness.com and apply today. Harness LLC. Build people, move dirt.
If you're shopping for a new home, the last thing you want is another surprise jump in mortgage rates. Hey, Willie Donick here, excited to tell you about Loan Pronto's all-new rate protection program. You get a rate quote that is locked in for 180 days, 6 whole months. Brian and Amy did it. They locked in an APR in the 3s with Loan Pronto. When they finally found a home a month later, rates had jumped into the 4s, but they were protected thanks to Loan Pronto, and they saved over $200 a month on their payment. With Loan Pronto's rate protection guarantee, you can make offers with confidence. And there's no fee for this, no upfront cost. And most home buyers who go with Loan Pronto save about $3,000 in closing costs. Call now for the all-new rate protection program so you can check rate increases off the list of things to worry about. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. 499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Back here on the DDC on this gorgeous Wednesday. So you brought up some interesting names. Ville. And to me, I guess, don't you have to know what is, like, the first piece has got to be what happens with Forsberg, right? Like, you can't decide
Obviously.
on anything.
Yeah,
but then,
like, if Forsberg leaves, then I think you try to go all in on Gaudreau,
but
or somebody like that, right?
But again, what is it? And I think this is where some of the feedback we're getting from fans, right, is they want to know what is the direction. Is the direction to stay on the path, or is it changed? What is the direction moving forward? Going for it, one step forward, you lose Forsberg, but we feel like we can get even better after losing him.
The goal is to get Forsberg.
I understand.
The goal, I think, is to get better.
Okay.
I don't think to me, the transition, you've done a lot of good transitioning. I think you now have created space where you can address needs, and I think you have specific needs. I think Mace put it out there perfect. You need a top 6 forward.
Of course.
And I think you need one more veteran, steady defenseman, not one that breaks the bank. I'm not talking about a $9 million ace defenseman, but maybe a solid veteran who has played a lot of years, who would be a good complement to Yossi. And then maybe you have Fabro, Carrier as that guy who plays with Ekholm, and then that strengthens your third pair and depth. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I mean, I just think there is another level for the defense to get to. Now, maybe that's just another year of Dante Fabro getting bigger, stronger, better. And same thing with Alex Carrier. But I think they're a little small, right? They don't have much size there on the D-core.
Carrier especially. Like, I like him.
Lazan will help.
Lazan,
I think, is a good piece that's going to be very inexpensive. And he's still young. And I think they believe he will get better. I don't know that he's a top 4, but I think he could play in the top 4. You got to have this: who can play, who is a top 4, and who is on that third pair, who, if you have injuries, et cetera, which you're going to, who could move up and play in the top 4, and you don't miss a beat that much. You know, he can plug in there. And so that increases your depth. And then you have a really strong move-the-needle kind of third pair in there.
I mean, we can – obviously, this is talk radio. We could do whatever.
Yeah.
But yesterday, the players talked. They cleaned out their lockers. That was they talk. And then management is going to talk here in the very, very near future, probably next week. So, really, a lot of this is premature because – if we assume, then yes, what you said, Willie, that, the object is to get better. I get it, but we haven't heard for sure 100% since the season concluded. What is the message moving forward?
Well, you have a Vezina, you have a Vezina goalie. You have a Norris Trophy defenseman who's not getting any younger, right? You've got Roman Josi in his prime for the next few years, and then he's going to start aging just like everybody does. You've got Forsberg, Duchesne, Johansson. You got Granlund. Hopefully you have Forsberg. I shouldn't say that. They don't have him until they have him, right? But I think it's in a salary cap world, you're trying to move to the next step. You're trying to go from a good team that is a notch below the elite teams and try to close that gap.
Right. I'm just saying last year, and I was all for it, was youth movement. Get younger. See what you have. But the
last
more people
2 years,
you bring
the last
in,
2 years have been a youth movement, really.
The possibility you're pushing back out young guys.
Well, yeah, now
you're pushing back out the youth movement.
Look, here are a couple of examples of the youth movement, all right? Now we've seen 2 years of Eeli Tolvanen. He's still very young. Is he done developing? No, I don't think so.
But it is
you've
very
now
much
watched
undecided.
him play. But now you've watched him play 100 games or whatever it's been, right?
And it's very much incomplete.
It's incomplete, but at least you've now seen him on NHL ice. You're not like, well, he's been in Milwaukee.
True.
He's been over in Finland. He's in the KHL. We think he could be good. Now you've seen him play about 100 games. Luke Cunnin is another
right now,
guy.
When you say, though, it's not good enough.
Right now, no.
Okay, but you're talking about taking up a roster space.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep the development playing.
That's what I'm saying. Now you evaluate those guys, and now you can decide: do we want to keep them, or do we want to move and clear some other spots and bring in some other guys?
Like Tomasino, I've seen enough. Where I feel like he's just going to get better.
Phil Tomasino is going to be back next year.
Yes,
and
I think he's just going to keep getting better.
I think the two guys that got a massive opportunity this year were Eeli Tolvanen and Luke Cunnin. Those guys got great opportunities on the second line to show me you're a top six forward. They're both still young. Cunnin's only 24. Oh, Tolvanen's what, 22?
Yeah, Cunnin's been in the league for a while now.
But he's 24.
Yeah, I understand, but it wasn't good enough.
Okay. Not as a top six. You're right. So he's a restricted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you bring him back, or do you walk away, or do you trade him to another team where he's going to play a different role? I think he's an excellent NHL player, but on this team, you need a top six. It's pretty specific, right? You don't need third and fourth liners. I like the bottom six a lot, don't you?
Well, I don't
love
know
the
why.
Bottom six.
I mean, if everybody's going to sing the praises and how great the third line is, then I don't know why they have to continue being the third line.
Because that's what they are.
But
they're
why?
a third line.
Based on what?
Based
on what?
Based on the way they play.
No, their production says they're a second line.
17 goals is a second line. 24 goals is a second line.
Did you see the second line production this year? Yeah.
But that's my point. You get the second line to where it should be, and that becomes one of the best third lines in the game.
Then move up Trennan and Jeannot to the second line.
They're not second line players.
Why?
They're not top six guys. That's how I evaluate
24 goals as a rookie is not a second line guy?
I love Tanner Jeannot. He is awesome. He is the perfect power third line guy. Third line guy. That's how I see that line. It's one of the best lines in hockey at what they do. But if you're asking them to be the second line, I don't think they're that.
I don't know what that's based on. I don't understand that. Like I don't.
So
just because they played the third line this year, so they're stuck at third line.
So you said they're not good. They're good enough to play the third line and put up those numbers, but based on your knowledge, based on your assessment, if they go up to the second line, those numbers might not be the same.
They're not.
Is that what you're? That's how I'm sort of reading what you're saying.
They tried Jeannot some on the second line. It never took.
A game, really? A game.
No, they tried.
Game,
and
then
it a few times.
No, John Hines raced back every time. It was like one, maybe 2 games, and raced it right back together. Sometimes it wouldn't even last a game, like Game 4, right back quickly.
Right? Why was that?
He
was ineffective.
I'm saying, but you can't paint the picture that he got an opportunity. We got a good look at him at the second line because we didn't.
He's a rookie. I can't predict the future. If he jumps up there and becomes a second line forward, great. Outstanding.
I just don't know how a guy who had 24 goals isn't good enough for the second line.
He might be, but one of the strengths of the team is you have one of the best third lines in hockey. Why did they make the playoffs? Because that line was so good. So I wouldn't mess with that. That's just me. I would have that and improve my second line. Then you're up there with – then you got something to bring to the table against teams that have an outstanding top 9. Minnesota, St. Louis, Colorado, the teams that they're a notch below right now. You need a second line. Fine. You want to make them the second line? Fine. Then you need a better third line.
They have no excuse.
They have cap space.
You got to
go find.
You are sliding guys back.
Right, but okay. What is the bottom line here? Tolvanen and Cunnin did not have the type of years that they hoped that they would have. So do you want to give them another shot at it? It's not going to break the bank.
No. They're third or fourth line guys now.
But no, that's my point. They're not third line guys. Cunnin maybe
You're
is,
right.
but you got to be a checking line. The third line has to play against the other team's top lines and defend them, hit them, pound them. That's how you want to play.
I thought Tolvanen was aggressive this year. He was physical. You said he wasn't physical?
He was. He's 5'11".
Oh, well, I'm just saying you're painting the picture he needs to be physical. I thought he was physical this year.
He wasn't drafted to be physical.
No,
right?
But he's not scoring.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a reason why they're looking for a second-line guy because they tried everybody. They did try, as you know. There's some. You don't want to believe it. They tried it some.
For a game. I know I don't call that trying it.
It's not for a game. It was more than that.
That's like sticking your big toe in the pool and be like, look, I tried the water. It's too cold.
Look, if that.
No, you're like, you put your toenail in.
Next year's a new year.
That's not trying something.
Do you think they need to
Go
add?
cannonball in the deep end.
Here's the bottom. Do you think they need to add a skilled forward to the team? Whether you want to put him on the second line, the third line, whatever. Yes.
Okay, then find a guy that's going to get you at least 24 goals.
Yes.
Or more.
Exactly. That's what they need.
Well, that's going to come at a price.
That's why they cleared the cap space.
You got to be willing to spend it.
You got to spend.
Why wouldn't they spend it?
I don't know. I'm asking. We haven't been told that they're going to do that.
Have they?
Hence the message.
They have been spending to the cap for the last 10 years or so. At the beginning, that would have been a very legit question about 10 or 12 years ago because they didn't spend to the cap. But recently, David Poile, he says repeatedly, I have no restrictions on what I can spend. I can spend to the cap like everybody else. They tried to preserve cap space going forward by getting younger. That was part of the youth movement. So I'm not saying they're going to spend right to the cap the day one of free agency, but I think that they have the ability, the flexibility to add a piece. I'll give you a couple other names that could be out there. Riley Smith, Ryan Strome, Ricard Raquel, Brian Rust. These are the kind of guys that I think would be helpful. I really thought that they missed Eric Holla, by the way. If there was, of all the veterans that they were missing from last year, to me, he's the kind of guy that they missed some. And I think they have the kind of budget to go get.
Son agrees with me. And by the way,
I
he said
hope so.
Chanot didn't even get any power play opportunities.
Yes, he did. He started to at the end of the year, right when he slumped.
Well, yeah. Again, sticking the toenail in. It's like that. Game 80 doesn't count. Like I tried. Game 80.
Look, nobody's a bigger Tanner Jeannot fan than I am, and you've got him back. He's back. You could, if he earns the job in the second line, great. But you still need more firepower. You need more depth. So if he's on the second line, great. Then you need a third line. They have the best third line in hockey right now.
D-Mace, what does Willie do if he sees Jeannot on the second line?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my laundry. Jeannot is on the second line. He's just hugged Johansson. Oh, my laundry.
Seabass, did you see it?
Seabass, can you believe it? Jeannot and Johansson are hugging on the second line. We'll be back.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robby Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All right, I'm going to try to get through this because I may have had a little fun at Willie's expense. I told these guys, I just like doing that. It's fun. I don't know why he would be excited. I should be the one excited, not Billy. Hey, is your air conditioner ready for the hot temperatures? It is hot outside. Costs are rising everywhere. You know that. You go to the grocery store, Gas prices, you fill up the tank. It's hard to even look, right? The final price, utilities, you name it, everything is so expensive. Is your AC old, inefficient, and costing more than it should? Is it equipped and ready to handle the summer temperatures? Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Qualified buyers have up to 72 months, no interest, for a new York air conditioner and 6 months, no interest, for repairs. That's at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. All new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company. You can schedule right now at springhillac.com.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Hot and humid this afternoon. High temperature of 90 would tie the record high. Heat index will put us up around 94, and a few isolated showers will also be possible.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. You can run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. The Kubota B-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
If you've been thinking about remodeling your home's kitchen or bath, contact the countertop experts at Smoky Mountain Tops. Willie Donick here, and we installed Smoky Mountain Top surfacing in our kitchen years ago. It's remained durable and super easy to clean up. Smoky Mountain Tops is proud to offer the new prestigious Vidara quartz for your kitchen or bath countertops. Vidara surfaces are ideal for use in almost any interior application. Check out the stunning new Vidara quartz shown at Smoky Mountain Top Studio. Contact the pros at Smoky Mountain Tops. Quality, service, and dedication. Visit SmokyMountainTops.com.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
The Gallatin Hotel is a vibrant and charming boutique hotel tucked into East Nashville and was voted the #1 boutique hotel in East Nashville by TripAdvisor. Not only is the Gallatin unique by design, but they also give away the majority of their profits to those who need it most and provides beds, food, and supplies to Nashville's underserved communities and those experiencing homelessness. Just one more reason to love your stay at the Gallatin. Visit thegallatinhotel.com to book your stay now. The Gallatin Hotel. It's good vibes only.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Back here on the DDC. Had a spirited show today. I like that.
I like messing with Willie.
I think he's.
I'm glad Willie. Yeah, I'm glad Willie's a good sport about it.
He's
man.
so tired of me doing that.
He probably go home and is like, Aaron, these guys just mess with me all the time. Gosh, Mahoney, come over here. Let me tell you what Darren did today.
Well, listen to this. Greg on our text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I mean, I love the show, guys. I listen every day. But why is Billy so aggressive? Why is he so aggressive? Well done, Greg. Well done.
Willie, is it the aggression? Is it because you're getting a little older, Willie? What's wrong, man? Why the aggression? Look at Willie.
I don't see the aggression. I see passion. I see opinion.
Oh, okay.
You want
see
opinion?
passion.
I'm giving you my opinion. I give you my
I feel
opinion.
you, Willie. I
Yeah.
feel you on that. I'm the same way, man. That's not.
Yeah.
I'm just passionate about.
Dude, don't lose
things.
it.
Yeah.
I don't lose it. I love it.
Yeah, Willie.
I love it. I mean, but
Tell him why you're mad, Willie. Tell him why you're mad, son.
I'm going to tell you what frustrates me.
Yeah, what frustrates you, son?
What frustrates me is when people, when the message from the team has been exactly the same for a year. Competitive transition. Aren't you tired of saying competitive transition? Have you not heard that a few times?
I haven't.
Seriously.
Said it.
Yeah.
How long have you heard that?
A lot. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I haven't counted.
It has been thrown everywhere, okay? And you got people calling this show saying, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. What are they doing? What's the plan? What's the plan? Can they say it any more clear than they said it? We're going to get younger. We're going into transition. We're going to stay competitive while we do it, which they did. They made the playoffs. They're in a transition. Now, as we've been talking about, now the next step is ahead of them. What's the next step in the plan? We're going to find out. They're going to have, I'm sure at some point, they have it every year, sort of the exit press conference where they talk about the upcoming offseason. I think you're going to hear that, look, we've got a better evaluation of our young players. We have our nucleus that is set, Roman Yossi and UC Saros and those guys, and now we got to go out and find the next pieces that close the gap between a good team, which they are, and an elite team that they just got their butts kicked by without their goalie.
You think that message should come from somebody else, though, instead of Poyle?
I mean, that's a fair argument, maybe. But I don't think the people who would give it would know anything about hockey. They defer to the general manager that they put in place there. But don't call me and don't call the show or don't go on social media and say, I don't understand the plan. The plan has been laid out very clearly and consistently for a year. They didn't say, we can win the cup this year. Did they?
No, I didn't hear that.
No.
Did they say that?
No.
They didn't say, we're going to spend to the cap, we're going to go all in, we're going to trade our first-round pick. They said the opposite. We're going with the young players. It's a competitive transition. The message has been very consistent for a long time. So if you disagree with the plan, then that's totally fine. We can debate, we can discuss. You don't like a trade didn't work out exactly the way that they hoped for. That's part of it, right? No plan is guaranteed to work exactly right with everything falling into place. But I'll tell you what, zero people, I shouldn't say zero, I'm exaggerating. Very few people had this team in the playoffs. They had the Blackhawks ahead of them. They had the Jets ahead of them. They certainly had Vegas ahead of them. And no. Was that correct? It was not. Nashville made the playoffs, despite changing the guard and getting younger. So that's what yeah, you want to call me aggressive or opinionated? Yeah, because I get tired of people that they're passionate about it, and that's great. But don't tell me you don't see a plan. They've been telling you that for a year.
I don't ask the listeners much for favors, but I'm calling in a favor. Just from time to time throughout this offseason, when you kind of feel like maybe we're just kind of going through the motions, if you could just call in and just innocently say, guys, do you know what's the plan for the Predators? If you could just do that from time to time this summer, I'll even think about finding out if we can get you prizes, just so Willie will rip the microphone. I want Willie to rip the microphone out of the stand and throw it through the window.
The Predators' plan will become the new Josh Reynolds.
If you could just from time to time just call in innocently and be like, hey guys, I got a question. anybody know what is the plan this offseason? What are the Predators doing? And just if we could see, just see how many times we can take those calls before Willie goes down underneath the table, comes up with his shirt off, he's green, and he rips the microphone out and slings it out onto a Porsche that's down. Oh, wait a minute, that's Derek. Don't do that. Hit another car. Hit the empty spot.
Throw it to the empty spot. But again, it's all about optics and what was the last thought? What was the last thing fans thought? Well, you got swept in the playoffs.
Right.
If they had made it to the second round and lost in the second round, then the uproar wouldn't be as bad. But because you got swept,